Hey guys, welcome back to the Chop Block. It's me, Mike Brown, and so I just want to do a little house cleaning for first and foremost before I introduce my guests. From this point forward, I'm going to be dropping audio podcasts every Tuesday, and then video podcast either every Wednesday or Thursday subsequently, depending on how things go. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Oh, by the way, reach out to me via social medias. Everything's listed below. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share if you guys find this entertaining. All right, so for my first guest, because I have two this week, realistically I have one. The other one's just here mooching. I got my barber, my friend. Sir, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Checo. Also Michael.
Oh, well.
Yeah, let's drop it.
That's new to me. That's why I'm Brown.
Yeah, exactly.
Unknown secret.
Yeah.
And then the other guy next to him is
also goes by his last name.
Also goes technically.
Bosa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his intro now.
Yeah. Bosa, you're
Okay, so
I go by Checo.
Right.
Checo the barber. So if Checo's the first name, the barber is officially the last name.
is it DA or
No, I upgraded. In high school, it's definitely DA. I have business cards for evidence.
Right.
If you guys need. But yeah, I matured and I upgraded. Yeah, to THE.
She's on THA.
Right? I mean,
It's a slight maturity.
Yeah, but when I did mature, THA wasn't a thing yet. It wasn't a thing.
See? And now you're
There you go.
30, and then boom.
Yeah.
And now everything is
THE.
litty,
Yes, sir.
apparently. So
Back toes.
Checo, you want to introduce who you are and whatnot?
Okay. Yeah. I feel like obviously there's a lot of people that do know me, but hopefully we hit a lot of viewers that don't.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So my name is Checo. I am the CEO of Stache Barbershop, located in Union, New Jersey.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. I already been sponsored being this podcast.
You already sponsored us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was free No, it was in sponsorship. It was free advertisement.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
difference.
I know.
I'm just saying, I just want a discount on the beard, bro. By the way,
got you.
I just want to point out a simple fact. I do not have a fresh haircut because I am too busy of a person, and I just can't get around to it.
I am
I
equally
do.
as busy. If I could have brought my clippers and they wouldn't have been a disturbance, I would have cut his hair, because that's usually
Live
how we talk.
on air.
That's usually how we talk.
Yeah, that's true.
We have a lot of conversations while I'm cutting your hair, and that is how I absorb 90% of my information.
Yeah, you have a lot of interaction with a lot of individuals.
Yeah.
He's all our therapist.
I've said that in the past, that a barbershop is like a
think
guy's
about it.
therapy.
It's a man's playground.
On average, I see about 14 people in one day.
Mm-hmm.
I work on average minimum 5 days.
Minimum
5 days.
But yeah, you've worked 7 days a week, weeks on end.
I work 8 days a week.
He's had more than 14, I'm sure.
Yeah,
days.
and I do. Yeah, and that's why I said average. Like I don't think, especially since I opened up my shop, there hasn't been a day that I've seen less than 10 people.
How long you've had your own shop now?
We just hit 9 years.
Wow, time flies, man. Time flies. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how life works out, because it's like it's a growing process too, right? Especially now being a business owner, and then because you've always been about your hustle.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
Or your craft.
like in the most recent years, I really have identified who I am, because it takes a while. Like you grow, this and that, but I really feel like everything that I think or all my actions has to do with a hustle. Like it really has altered everything. Like, and I'm not talking like literally, I am a hustler through and through in every shape and form. And a lot of people think a very simplistic form, but I'm constantly thinking about marketing, business, even everything that has to do with this world, everything that's going on. I'm like, how do people make money, and how is it altering how things are getting done? And it always has to do with money. Always. And that's just my mind frame about everything in life.
Yeah, money makes the world go around, right?
Yeah.
Cream, cash rules everything around me.
Yes, sir.
Dollar bill.
Shout out to the Woo.
Yeah. And then also, I've also grown up, like, back to who I am. I started cutting at 9.
Right.
9 years old, I was. How back do we want to go? You want to? I could do a quick rundown.
I mean, it's up to you, man. This is your
Right.
show today.
All right, cool. So
You're the main guest.
all right, so let's start
Sorry,
from the
Bosa.
beginning. Born in Washington Heights, New York, where all the rest of my Dominicans are.
Que lo que.
By the way, I have to
Latin
issue a
power.
retractment
Yeah,
from one of my previous episodes. I believe it was with Pavano.
yeah.
That I don't understand Dominicans. What I meant to say was when.
It's already been said.
Damn, I'm gonna get canceled like Joe Rogan.
I don't think enough Dominicans know how to cancel people.
Oh shit! But no, I just said like when Dominicans really start when
No, but I think there's all stereotypes and everything because also I don't fit into that cloth. Most people.
No,
don't
you
even-
definitely don't.
Most people don't even think I'm Dominican.
Yo,
look how white he is.
legit. It took me a couple of years. not even that.
I got lighter cousins.
I'm trying to cancel Brown.
Jesus. That's why I end up editing. I end up bleeping. By the way.
We almost
So-
canceled you. Your mic wasn't going to be on at all.
Yeah, you know what? On second thought, let's just do that.
Muted. Yeah.
There you go. Nice and clean now. But nah, man, it's just like because I work, where I work, I see a lot of truck drivers, and a lot of them are Dominican, like especially like in and out of the ports.
But all right. So
half of them look like want to be reggaeton artists.
Back to how my mind thinks. Think about this, right? So I'm a big history guy too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've had many of conversations.
So if you look, it's all about a hustle. If you can't make in Dominican Republic, as in like you're below the poverty line, you're struggling, this and that. America, like how it is for most immigrants, is your cash cow. You come here, you hustle, you make your money, you do all this stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of people that do that.
But exactly. But what do you mainly get?
Right. Try not to hit the table too much.
Sorry.
It's
What do you mainly get? You get people more of that are in that. You understand? Like that grew up poor, grew up this and that, and they just live a different lifestyle. So now you start getting real stereotypical. You understand? Like
because everybody goes through that same struggle.
yeah, it's like
Or situation.
Exactly. Like people want to say about ghetto people, about this, about that. Like they want to have that, or they want to mention that and say things like that, and it's just like that's what you're getting from all these other countries because they can't make it. If they could make it in theirs, they don't come back.
Right. What would be the point? Right.
Exactly.
Usually people leave countries out of necessity.
Exactly.
Whether it's monetary, whether it's political, whether it's
brainwashed, there's all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, there's that too, right?
Sold the dream in a sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, in saying that, it's that's why I feel like if you want to like really break it down, I'm from the north side of the island, right? So the north side of the island was under dictatorship, right?
Okay.
So after the island was split between Haiti and Dominican Republic,
right?
Haiti got their independence first, then we got our independence from Spain after. They got their independence from France first.
What time period are we looking at?
17s.
Okay.
Around there.
Okay.
Right? So the whole island was used for crops and farms and all that stuff.
Right.
Right. France had way more slaves than the Dominican Republic did. Right. It was so many that they were able to overpower their masters.
Right.
That's how they got their independence first.
So ratio mattered there.
Yeah, because they were just more of a pit. The Dominican Republic was using more of their land to crop and farm, and also equally have slaves and all that stuff. But with the whole, it was kind of like Christopher Columbus thing, all that stuff.
Right.
He landed all down there. He landed.
Yeah, it was the island of Hispaniola.
Yeah.
Which is what the island is actually called.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's when Dominican Republic got more split in a sense of whitewashing, I guess.
Right.
To say it. So the owners and the masters stayed up north and the slaves stayed down south.
Right. Because I'm assuming that the land was just better to live up in the north.
Yeah. More mountains, more this and that. And
right.
then the capital was down south, which is more of a city, and they built off of that. So then, obviously time goes past. Now I'm talking early 1900s and all this stuff. Yeah, like I would say like 1930, maybe a little earlier. Dominican Republic is under dictatorship, right? Trujillo is his name.
Okay.
So he wanted to kind of re-whitewash. So
I see.
He brought in a bunch of Spaniards, a bunch of whites, you know,
try
and he brought them all up north.
He had an idea of like a sort of genocide.
He gave them land. He gave them all that stuff, everything they want.
Right.
So now you got a bunch of Dominicans that look like me, nice hair, curly hair, light skin, light eyes. I don't have the light eyes, but I have cousins.
Right.
And all that stuff. Generations later, that are all like that.
That's wild. I had no idea about that.
Those Dominicans don't come to this country more. 1 out of every 3 that asks for a visa gets allowed to leave the country. They want to keep them there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So just like generally speaking, they want to try to keep them on the island as much as possible.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because of birth rate or something like that.
Yeah, just
because that's been like a major issue for a lot of countries all over the world, bro.
Dominicans, the racism is like crazy still to this day.
Yeah, I heard it's like that in a lot of places, like in Spanish speaking countries like South America, Central America, the islands,
because they all went under the same.
It kind of was. A lot of them were ran by dictators in a lot of sense. Brazil,
it's also religious, all that stuff. They were all brainwashed into thinking that.
Well,
even me, look, even like I just said something wrong. I said I have good hair.
Yeah.
Like it's just what we're kind of brought up and stuff like that.
Right.
So am I at fault, or it's just like how I was brought up?
Nothing against if your hair is like a little nappy or whatever.
Bro, I've had dreads. I've had every hairstyle.
Legit. That is true. I wish you would have provided me with some pictures. I could do a slideshow right now. But
man, if you had every look up there, I can't because I got to keep these hoes guessing. So I can't give all my looks.
If you want, just throw up your Instagram, man. I was actually going through it the other day. I was trying to. Long story short, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be my next guest, a guy at work. He goes, oh, that's your barber? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm going through. He's like, damn, beard, hair, dreads. I'm like, what hasn't he done? I'm like, bro, it's what he does.
Yeah, I've done every hairstyle.
Legit. Yo, you went blonde at one point. That shit.
I went blonde twice.
Yeah,
twice.
Wow, that's wild. You just do it just to keep yourself,
I gotta switch.
You also are one of the freshest people dressed that I ever. This guy shows up. I'm like, I'm wearing a hoodie. I'm wearing a Fast Guy hoodie. Shout out to Fast Guy. And I'm just like, I see him walk in, and I'm like, damn, bro, I gotta put on something a little better. You know what I mean?
I came from home.
You have no updates,
bro. Your best dressed day can't be in your casket.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I get it, but
that's how I live my life, bro. I can't be the freshest when I'm in my casket.
I mean, I used to take a lot of like,
bro, but it's like, thank you, I appreciate the compliment,
yeah.
but also it's kind of like I'm not trying.
No, it's not.
No, that's just who you are.
I'm not trying to sound conceited, but it's just like I was just raised. If you leave your house, you have to look presentable,
right?
In a sense,
yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. I just naturally, when you said it's like, yo, you're fresh. It's like, bro, I threw on a t-shirt on. Like I literally have a t-shirt on. That's what I have.
It's nothing to it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm just that lazy.
I'm just like, hoodie and some jeans, and I'm
throw on my.
I'm simple, but I'm not lazy.
Just Mac detail.
By the way, this is not my. Oh yeah, go ahead. Do today's free advertising.
Yeah.
This week, it's thanks to my guy Delon.
Yeah.
Just Mac detail. Guy's a man, bro. Just get your car detailed there. Take the salt off. Get the water beating off. Legit.
Where can he find him? Where can people find him?
Hillside, New Jersey. Check out his Instagram. Just Mac. He's a man.
That's how it's spelled.
Just Mac detail.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. On Instagram. All right. Shout out to Delon.
Don't worry.
Con man.
Marketing. We're gonna get you paid for this, Mike.
It's like, I'm gonna need some back pay, fellas.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of back pay, so how much you willing to pay?
Yeah, I brought the whiskey. I brought whatever.
Oh no, that's true. And you're making an appearance.
Yeah.
So there you go. All right, payment rendered.
I usually charge. Usually when I do house calls, I charge. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Payment rendered.
50% off your next beard.
And not for nothing, I ain't no celebrity, and I know you've cut some celebrities in the past, so I'm not even. I'm feeling honored right now. Bosa, first CEO of the podcast, by the way, to appear on the podcast.
Yeah.
First CEO.
Legend.
Yo, bro. We make it move. Yeah. No,
all right.
My plan today was to hit every single letter on your podcast, Chop Block. We're going to talk about cars.
Yes.
comedy, history.
You want let's not go in order because I want to leave the end to
I'm just saying
I'm just going to drop
checking off all those boxes.
By the way, guys, I'm still contemplating with the idea. So if you feel like that we cut it short and we didn't cover something, then go check it out on Rumble. I have the link on my Instagram page on the solo links or Linktree, whatever the hell it's called. We're going to be talking about Operation Paperclip, and I'll just leave it right there because we are going to be talking about some
we're not talking about that little paperclip on your old Microsoft.
Yo. You know what's funny? I saw a meme.
Yeah.
And it was it was of him, and it was like, oh man, I'm glad you guys are bringing me back so much by going and search for Operation Paperclip. So it was like a fake meme, you know what I mean? It was just like, what's this about? They're bringing this guy back, and you go search Operation Paperclip, and then you're like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then your mind is blown.
What is it?
Well, we're gonna be covering that later on.
Yeah, I'm still trying to tell you guys about my history.
That's part of the history / conspiracy portion of things. So, and YouTube doesn't look too favorably upon some of these conspiracy ideas, or rather, these.
So we're gonna be
truths.
Switching
these truths. But go ahead, man. Have at it.
Oh yeah. So back Dominican, we went on that rant on the history.
Yeah.
So I was born in Washington Heights. Moved to DR.
Oh wow, you actually lived in DR.
Yeah, I lived in DR. Don't remember much, just by pictures. Then I moved back to Newark, New Jersey when I was 3. But I know you guys are chopped, but
what's that mean?
That means you guys only,
that means we're on the block.
That means you guys
not
only know
neck.
Iron Belt bound. And I'm not from that part of Newark.
By the way, chop is a word only we can use.
Oh, okay. So is Dominican.
You know what? Yes.
Right?
Yes, let's give us that.
Let's give us that. You guys take everything, so might as well.
Well, I mean, they just got rid of
stuff.
Not to bring him up again, but they just got rid of Joe Rogan's 100 episodes because he dropped the N-bomb or whatever a couple times.
So don't drop the C-bomb.
That's right.
I get that, but
female version and Portuguese version.
Hey, yo, Chop.
Put up my chop.
You guys have never been suppressed like that. So
actually, we was quite the other way around.
Yeah,
but let's
not go there.
Let's not go there.
I got friends.
I got a whole Yelp review about your country, so if you want to go down that rabbit hole.
Oh yeah. We're definitely gonna have to hear about
2 of them.
We're definitely gonna have to hear about your Yelp review on, or no, TripAdvisor.
Yeah,
TripAdvisor review of Portugal.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Anyway, so came back, moved to Newark, lived on South 18th Street with 14th Ave, close to Irvington, not the side of Newark that people usually known or are from.
Right. And it's usually the side that you don't want to go to. Yeah,
that's where I grew up. Then, thankfully, I was able to move to Union when I was 9.
Okay.
So when I was 9, growing up in Newark, though, it has back to my whole hustle thing.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to circle back a lot. Back to my whole hustle thing. That's where was the basis from. I grew up in a 2-bedroom apartment. It was me and my 2 sisters and my parents. So that means we all shared a room.
You're the youngest, or?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 3.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, youngest of 3, the oldest in every other form.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I can't say that.
Yeah. So in saying that, I had no backyard. I had a hallway almost as small as this, 1 straight hallway, and yeah, I used to rollerblade, skate, all that, play basketball in that one hallway. Basketball was just with a milk crate on the door. You cut a hole in the bottom and just shoot. Anyway, yeah, so I had no backyard, I had nothing. So when my sisters were, obviously they were home all the time, one would be in the room, the other one would be watching TV. I'm the youngest, so I can't demand anything.
Right.
So I would go to the bodega and work. That was my fun.
There is no stereotype there.
No, 100%. All stereotypes. Of course, my dad owned the bodega in Newark, obviously. So, yeah, so I would literally stock up fridges and all that stuff. But I think that set the basis of everything because my maturity level went up a lot.
Right.
I was legit like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, working shifts at a bodega, stocking fridges, cooking in the back, in the kitchen, with grown
at a young age already.
Yeah, grown ass men. Nobody was even in their 20s.
So what you're telling me is, technically speaking, you pretty soon you can collect Social Security.
Oh yeah, all day, all day. I said earlier. I was just like, I'm an OG in a lot of forms.
Yeah, you're very wise too.
Very young, but an OG in a lot of forms. I probably lived like 4 lives already.
Yeah, it bugged me out. Not to cut you off, but like we were talking not too long ago, couple weeks, last week or whatever it was. That one Tuesday you popped in. Yeah,
it was
that one Tuesday you popped in.
2 weeks ago. Right?
Almost 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And we were talking, we were like sharing stories and shit like that. I was like, yeah, I was there for that. I was like, yeah, you were there for that. And I'm like thinking of your age, and I'm like, damn, bro, how fucking young were you?
Bro, yeah.
Because it's like we got 6 years apart from each other. And it was like 6 years apart when you're 19 is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I did a lot of things early. Like start working in bodega when I was 4. So
popped out the womb.
That's just been the
start slicing meat.
Yeah, that's just been the base of my life. I do everything early, and I go full send on everything.
Sorry, it was the little buzzing.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Damn, we missed your clip. Say it again.
Pause.
Oh,
nah, full send, bro. Everything on this thing is full send.
Yep,
full send.
Hey man, only hold back as much as you want, because everything else I can bleep out whenever you like. Just like I did for Bosa a couple times. Yeah. He's like, yo, you bleep that out? Yo, you bleep that out? He don't remember because he was like fucking.
Yeah, he was faded.
That's why.
And I ain't give him a cut, so we're not talking about haircuts here.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't say why he was, but and that's why I also had to bleep out the beginning of that episode in terms of calling it what I was going to originally call it, if you remember correctly. Those that have spoken to me know what it was.
Only assume.
It's a nice vape you got there.
I feel like I'm the only one that doesn't have to worry about a job firing them or whatever they say.
Because you're your own boss.
And also,
only if they can cancel you.
That's some gangster
shit.
shit.
But you can't.
You can't cancel a barber.
He makes you cancel anybody these days. Are you kidding?
100%. But I could easily go to Idaho and change my name, and nobody will know.
Nah, Idaho.
I mean, Weedaho.
Imagine trying to cancel a guy trying to make you look good.
Yeah.
Say, bro, you got me looking really good, man. You got to go.
Yeah.
You're canceled.
Damn, bro. I'm trying to think about that. I'm sure there's some dickhead out there that wouldn't mind doing that. You're too successful.
Yeah,
of course. All you have to do is move.
Yo, that's what I'm saying.
Or change names.
Anywhere, bro. On God's green earth.
Yo, not for nothing. You're like the master of disguise, too, because of all the different looks that you've had.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Like right now, you're Leon the professional.
Yeah, Leon, all day. I got my plant right over there, and then I got the suitcase with all the...
Where's Natalie Portman, son?
I mean, she out in these streets now.
She out there hoeing?
Yeah,
she with Future Hendrix right now.
Oh, man. That's such a great... Yo, by the way, one of my favorite movies of all time, The Professional.
All day.
One of my favorites.
Also saw that when I was 4.
Wow. That explains a lot. Well, wasn't that in the Heights, too? If I'm not mistaken?
No, that wasn't the Heights. But they were in New York, but it wasn't in the Heights.
No, was it?
No, I don't believe it was the Heights.
It was, or was it just Harlem, straight up?
I think it was Harlem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
She wasn't, you didn't see
people like
Leon,
her.
Yeah, Leon or her past Harlem.
Right.
Now as long as you're on Broadway.
Gentrification, son.
Yeah, all day, bro.
Yeah.
Which is also a hustle.
Yeah, redlining was also an issue.
Oh, man.
I mean,
like, you tell me which hole we going down, and that's where we're going down.
I plan on talking about. Actually, I will say I don't want to go down redlining hole only because, or that particularly, or classes, because on my next guest that I'm going to have on, I think we're going to be discussing a little bit of that.
All right, cool. Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, because he definitely has a deeper understanding of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
then I moved to Union when I was 9, and I didn't have a bodega to work at. So I went a couple of blocks away from my house to get a haircut. And the guy offered me $5 to sweep up. They were busy.
At 9?
Well, I got a haircut, and they were busy.
No, what I'm saying, you were like 9?
Yeah, I was 9. Yeah.
Bro, that's money.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro.
Yeah, $5?
At $5?
Yeah.
Shit.
So he's like, yo, I'll give you $5 to sweep up. I was there every day. Every day. I went there to get my money. I went, and then it was very similar. It was young guys. These guys were in their 20s in a sense. Young guys shooting the shit in the barbershop with a very modern barbershop for the time. Because now, if you want to get the time frame, this is 2001. So for that time, very modern shop. He had a DJ booth in the back. He had all these things popping. It was a very modern barbershop.
I'm trying to think where I was getting my haircut in 2001.
This is a Union.
Well, I grew up in Elizabeth. It's
so
probably either Jenny's or Cristal.
Yeah,
Jenny's.
Because then Jenny's was there, and then Cristal's open right across the street.
What was it? Angel, right? Was it his name?
Wasn't it Leo?
No, I think it was Angel.
No, Angel.
He gave like the sickest fucking Brooks.
Yeah, no, yo. So
that was a thing back then too.
Elizabeth was the birth. Elizabeth, and honestly, because I like my history, so I like to learn who were the barbers doing that. Elizabeth and actually Plainfield, New Jersey, have birthed the nicest barbers in Jersey. Jersey has a lot of nice barbers.
Yeah, that's true.
It's one of the states that you could confidently go to a lot, because then I've traveled a lot of the other states, and it is not, we're way more.
So you're saying the consistency of quality is not as good outside.
We're also overpopulated.
I'm sure Florida's got good.
Florida's up there.
I can see Florida being
up there. The main state that I get complaint that I'm surprised I get complaint is California. Yeah. California. Wow. It's hard because you'll find really good barbers, but they'll be so far from everywhere.
It's such a big state, bro.
It's such a big state.
Yeah, and getting around's a mission, man. Especially like if you're in Orange County or whatever. Bro, these people talk about, I was like, oh yeah, I was over there. Like,
yeah, but you got to understand, our 15-minute drive, which is a lot for us,
right, is a joke to them.
No, that's
like an hour.
No, 45 is their 15-minute. It's the same, and it's normal. Like you see how I'll be like, oh, I'm only 15 minutes away.
Yeah,
they'll be like, oh, I'm only 45, and that's very normal.
I think. Did you get that message? 15 minutes away ended up being like a half hour or some shit like that.
Yeah, I got one.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. I was 20 minutes away from Manhattan Beach to the club that Chaz recommended in LA.
That's not what we were talking about, but okay.
No, I'm saying as far as time goes. 20 minutes away. I got there in an hour and 15 roughly.
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
Traffic.
That's wild.
But anyway, so yeah, Elizabeth, I mean, you gotta remember, so talk about it. Elizabeth had the original chop shop.
True story.
Yeah.
And they were legit chopping shit up. I remember when I was outside the barbershop when that happened.
So my business partner,
because it was in between the two high schools.
So the guy that mentored me, the guy that showed me how to cut, took me everywhere to go where I needed to go. He started at that shop.
A lot of people did though.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the birthplace of a lot of beasts, bro. There's a lot of good talent that started from there. And telling you, I believe his name was Leo, that worked at Jenny's and stuff like that.
I remember. I don't know why Angel pops into my head.
There is an Angel. Angel's at Cristal's though. Angel wasn't the owner, because then
the dude wasn't
a park.
No, the dude wasn't the owner, and I don't even think Cristal's was open. But when I got a cut from him, because I went to get a cut from him like you know how I get a haircut. It's like once every 3 months, so it's like.
But back then, you definitely had the spikes and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, I was a little fresher back then. Oh yeah, my Brook was.
Yeah, you had the Brook with the
paint on the jeans. Yeah.
What? The got to be
paint on the jeans.
No, I wasn't.
You definitely had a
shell necklace.
No, no,
pastel
no.
Yes,
bro. Yeah. It was Elizabeth. I would not be caught dead with that shit.
Diesel shoes.
Nah,
diesel shoes. I did rock though. I know. That was all right. All blacks.
Yeah,
and it's just so comfy as hell.
Hell yeah, diesel shoes.
I was so upset when they stopped making those. I was like,
I wore them from school.
Yeah. Diesel shoes was the shit.
And then it was like, oh yo, they got Steve Madden's that kind of look like that. You put this shit. I was like, what the?
Steve Madden came and went.
Yeah, I know. It was ridiculous.
But yeah, so yeah, I started there, and then he used to manage a rap group. Right. They were based out of East New York, Brooklyn. And they started blowing up, but in the West Coast.
Oh wow.
They were rapping, and this is the same time reggaeton was coming out.
Oh.
It was making a huge surge. So every deal they wanted them to sing reggaeton, and they're like, no, we're a rap group. They were a hardcore Latin and English.
Oh, so the industry was trying to force them.
Yeah. So they never legit got a deal, but they have big songs like sorry.
Okay.
So at the time they had they had one of their songs with an artist called Notch, which is a big reggaeton guy, and Pitbull. And
I think I've heard of that second one before.
Pitbull? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had a song that was that, and then they had a song with they had a couple of other songs with like big named West Coast guys, but they blew up. They actually hit the charts, and they hit the Billboard charts, like top 200, because of Cali, because they were all over the radios and all that stuff over there.
That's a pretty big deal. I mean, to even hit the charts, period.
Sure. Bro, especially being in the well, this is the thing. It's like now being
in that day and age.
That's what I'm saying. We're literally talking about 2002. This is before people were
social media, and
I mean, there was, but there was like MySpace,
right?
You know, and MySpace still wasn't like a music hub.
I don't even think, but that's true though. MySpace did turn into a music hub later on.
It wasn't that,
but
before.
even during that time, I don't even think MySpace was around. I think you had like Friendster and Zanga.
Yeah,
and
you had Mi Gente.
Mi Gente. I almost forgot about that.
I had one.
Yeah.
Did you?
Of course.
I had a Zanga. I don't want to talk about it.
I think MySpace probably came around like 04, 05-ish, no? Roughly.
03, somewhere around there? Yeah.
But yeah, right at that cusp.
The beginning of the end?
Yeah. So that's...
Social media?
So he did that. So then he actually... They had a giant tour in Cali. So he sold his shop. Once he sold it, I didn't continue working there. I stayed there for like maybe like 6 months. Mm-hmm. But it became like a unisex salon and stuff like that. There was and all that stuff.
It wasn't quite a barber.
It wasn't a barbershop anymore. So then that's when I started kind of like, you have to create your own hustle. You could just let that whole thing die, or you could keep pushing. And 8th grade, I had wood shop. So I built my station in wood shop and put it in the basement.
Have at it.
Yep.
Have at it.
And then by 8th grade, I started cutting all my homies. And then freshman year, I was in junior ROTC.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's right. I
did 1 year. My older sister was in it. And in middle school, I wasn't a disrespectful child, but I did whatever I wanted. Because that's when
you were very independent.
Yeah, that's where I really learned that it's kind of like a lot of school is bullshit. I'm going to do what I need to do to get by. I never failed a class ever. But that's when I was just like, I don't need to do half the shit. Let me just get by. And then, you know, like, I would do I was very grown. Like I remember in middle school.
Old soul.
Yeah. Well, also I grew up in a barbershop, so I was around 20-year-olds when I was young.
Damn, he was listening to advice for grown ass men as a child.
So I remember one of the thing was I got in trouble for was that I had a Hustler hoodie, Hustler the porno.
Oh,
and it literally said Hustler hardcore since '74. Right?
Wait, you took that to middle school?
Yeah, I wore it every day.
Gangster.
Right? But back then, it was a zip up, so you used to tie the top and just leave it open.
Right.
Hey,
so then
no, I mean that was the thing that you did
for sure.
That's what you did back then.
The style back then.
Yeah, that was the style.
I used to have the long white tees and all that stuff. So
yeah,
that
some Timbos.
All day.
Yeah.
Now you had the Gore-Tex too.
FO1.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Gore-Tex. I had all that stuff.
Yo, anyway, I'm sorry, real quick, not to cut you off. You guys seen that audio that's floating around the reels right now? Oh, FO1, man, that's so clean, man. That's so fucking clean. Yo,
I haven't seen that shit.
You haven't seen that shit?
No.
Oh, I gotta send you one next time.
Yeah.
That's just funny. But yeah, that was it.
So yeah, now we're talking like 04, 05
right.
and stuff like that.
And that's when I got introduced to street racing, was right around then. But we're definitely gonna be talking about.
Did I?
Yeah, which is again one of those things that I was like, wow.
Yeah. So I remember I got in trouble for that shirt because the teacher was just like, "Why do you know this?" And I said, "Why do you know this?" And then neither of us spoke about it, but I never wore the hoodie again. Yeah, and
it just ended up being one of those things.
Yeah, it just ended up being one of those things. I was just, and then once I learned that the teachers were there as a job, not as like a parent, or because that's what you think of teachers, like, you know, they're like here to set rules, or they're just being mean, or they're assholes or whatever. I'm like, nah, this is their job. They equally don't want to do this shit either. They just need money. So I started treating them like normal people, and oh my god, my life got easier since 8th grade on. Yeah, it was just because I just learned how to talk to them and learn how to maneuver to do what I wanted.
Yeah, instant character. You became a people person off the rip.
Yeah,
and some people are very easily manipulated.
Very true, man. I mean, I did a lot. So gratefully, since I did everything early, like working on stuff, I also got my whole rebellious and asshole and dumb shit out the way in middle school. I did all that, which I'm grateful for because
you grew up quicker.
Yeah, because if you do it in high school, it can have more permanent things.
That's true.
And it can fuck you up longer for the future.
A lot more repercussions.
Yeah, a lot more. Like, bro, in middle school, bro, I left middle school. I had to get arrested to bring me back to the school and stuff like that. You gotta, but I'm also 13. That shit ain't going nowhere. I don't even have I don't have nothing on my
right. Yeah, you got it all out of your system.
Yeah,
so
I got it all.
Right?
So that's why freshman year, I got suspended once. I ain't have enough stain at the high school yet, but I got it right after. But yeah, I got suspended once freshman year, and after that, I never got suspended again. But I already knew. So
by stain, you mean reputation?
Yeah, all day. So Freshman year, I already knew. I was like, yo, I want to be a barber. And there's a cosmetology program in the school.
Right.
You have to test in. And I knew I was competing against a bunch of girls that wanted to do it, which were probably way smarter than me when it came to books.
Right.
And they could test in real easily. I'm not a test person. Like, I'm just a people. I learn. I gravitate. I learn by vision. You know, like a visionary learner and stuff like that. It's just how I am. So books aren't my thing. It took a lot more to get where I needed to be in that route, in a sense, right? So what I did was like, I'm gonna win this teacher over. So freshman year, I went into the cosmetology class. I was just like, hey, these are my tools. You let me know what I gotta do. I'm showing you now that I'm serious. I'm getting in this class. And she was just like, okay, I'll keep you posted every time I need you to do something. So I kept in contact with her. I always checked in on her. This and that.
Like it was a job.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, because technically it kind of was.
Yeah, bro. I knew I had.
It was your future.
I knew 100% I wasn't going to qualify to test it. Because also at the time, I probably could have if I took it more serious, but I was also 14 and did not give a fuck about testing, period. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I was just, I'm telling you, I lived, my life was always so many different avenues at the same time. So you want to go back?
Pick which road?
Bro, I was already cutting hair. You know, I was already cutting hair in my basement. And then I had all my cousins that were out into street racing. And then also, you know, getting into normal teenage trouble in a sense, all around that. And then I have to stay straight and be good in school because my main concern was to get into cosmetology. So I can't fuck up my high school shit.
Right.
So I was like living all this stuff. And then junior year, I got in. Once I get in junior year, I had way more stain. So by that point, I was already cutting all the teachers, all the principals, everybody.
You were cutting the staff up?
Bro, I was cutting everybody. I literally, I cut, I had a social studies teacher last period of the day. After the class was over, I'll cut him right there. In the classroom, like after
that's crazy. It's like you're dealing with adults like early on, and you know what I mean. And it's like, and next thing you know, it's like, yo,
take off that.
It's like, what's my grade going to be?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you learn that everything is a hustle,
right?
That's what I'm saying. It goes back to everything is a hustle, because I learned very early on that it's just like they're here for a job, and yeah, they got to do these rules and all that stuff. But I'm like, if you peel back that layer, that like I'm the teacher, you're the student, and you guys become more equal, then bro, I'm hustling you all day. Yeah, it's like I'm hustling you all day. There's something that you need that
false sense of confidence.
Yeah, something that you need that I could have, or I know how to get because I know so many people because I'm in a barbershop.
Yeah,
wow. I started
that was like the HubSpot. I mean,
bro,
they still kind of are.
So freshman year, I was in JROTC, which helped me out a lot. I didn't do well in ROTC, didn't care. But what helped me out a lot is that those kids needed haircuts twice a month.
So buzz cuts.
Yeah, well, they couldn't touch, like, it couldn't go past the middle of the ear, couldn't touch the ear and all that stuff. But
I call it the Yankee cut.
Yeah, but you gotta think about it. As a parent, they can't afford to give their kids that many haircuts. Some of them can't. Oh, okay. So I worked up a deal with the sergeant. He's like, yo, can you cut everybody here in our room? And these kids,
it was a Marine JROTC.
Yeah. Right. Army.
Oh, it was Army.
Yeah, it was Army.
Okay. Because Elizabeth, we had Marine.
Yeah, and some have Air Force. You know,
right.
So ours was Army, right? So the sergeant, he gave me a list. These kids, I'll pay for. So he took care of the kids that were a little less fortunate, with family, stuff like that, couldn't afford. And I'm telling you, this is $5 haircuts anyway.
Right.
But he still didn't want them to even stress about it, like their parents or whatever. Like, that's and I got really close with him. He was, it's kind of like you just gravitate to good people in a sense. And he was a good person.
Yeah. Oh, not to cut you up, but real quick, you just made me think about something. So it's like, that makes me like come to the realization of how much people tend to stay away from something, whether it's life-changing or whether it's, you can better yourself by just something monetary about, like, oh, we can't afford this on a regular, something minute, but it adds up. It's like, it's not within our budget, especially within families, like you were talking about. And it's like, some people go their whole lives and don't ever have to deal with that or realize what that is like. And that in itself is a character building tool that not many people experience. And that's why you got like a lot of the shit going on where it's like people have this quote unquote privilege, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
No,
but
all
it's
day because people don't even know
humility, man.
Yo, but think about like me. I grew up in so many different things, environments, and it's just like I got to see every aspect. And unless you see it, you can't learn from it.
And that speaks a lot to your character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And also, because like think about it, like I did not like ROTC. I had wanted nothing to do with the military. I was in the program. So what am I going to do? Just fucking do shit, fail out, and that's it? No, I took advantage of it, and I hustled it, and I made a lot of good connects from it. Like, still to this day, I still cut some of those guys.
That's wild.
Man, you get it? Like, so it's just like, it doesn't matter what bad situation you're in or what bad situation, whatever you're in, you always got to look that there is a positive and there is something good that could come out of it. I mean, and anything. Like, there's good people that do bad shit. There's bad people that some good come out of it. Yep. So it's just like, you always got to look at
bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people, right?
Hell yeah, bro. So that's what I'm saying. So it's just like, I always learned that because where I came from, like, I'm telling you, like, when I grew up in Newark, 1 bedroom for me and my sisters, our bed had to be under the window sills because of the shootings and all that stuff. Like, I grew up like that. And then to move to Union, which is like complete night and day. I used to cry because I couldn't walk to a bodega. There was nothing I could walk to. You understand? Like, and then once I got older, like literally, like you grow up quick, especially if you grow up in the hood. Kids, those grow up quick. Yeah. But they grow up 1 block minded. Right. And saying that like all they know is their block. They don't know anything outside.
It's their reach.
Yeah, it's their reach. They can't. And then you move, and then I move.
Well, hold on. It's street smart versus book smart.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be said about that. You got to have both, but there's a lot to be said about street smart.
And street smart, I think it's equal and just as important as any book smart. Because you also got to be mindful of what book you're reading and who the fuck wrote it, because that also determines what you learn. Because I used to push a lot of envelopes with school, with the books and all this stuff. I was a huge history person, but you learn all this American history, you learn all this stuff, and it's just like, yo, I got questions. I got questions, and I got questions for days because I didn't see that growing up. I didn't see that. You know what I'm saying? Like I went through a whole different life of even racism and stuff like that. Right. You know, like, and we don't have to go down those subjects in a sense, but like,
no, well, I mean, we could touch on it.
I grew up way differently. Right. When I moved to Union, I saw racism differently than when I lived in Newark. Oh, of course. In Newark, I was the minority. I was the different one. I was the one.
You were the minority in Newark? Well, yeah, okay, yeah, I can see that, yeah.
I used to get picked on all day. Literally, my dad would be like, yo, as long as you don't swing first, I'm okay.
Right.
Self-defense.
Yeah. Because, a lot of people like to pop shit.
Yeah.
And when you pop shit, when I knew I was going to fight, go ahead. I'll let you talk. Yeah. I'm already just swinging. Straight swinging. And I used to fight all the time.
And that's crazy because there's like, I mean, I grew up in Elizabeth, you know this, right?
But so you were more diverse. Like, that's what I'm saying.
It was more diverse, but at the same time, too, it was like, I never saw myself as a minority by any means, and I never saw anyone else as a minority either because it was so, like, the ratio was so,
I never knew what that was. All right, so check this out. Look how crazy it was. Where I grew up in Newark, my mom didn't speak English, right? She couldn't sign us up to school there because the ladies at the front desk were just these angry ladies that was like, oh, you don't speak English? Then okay. My mom was like, whatever. So then we used my aunt address and I went to school in North Newark.
Oh, shit.
Which was way more segregated because then it was this gang versus this gang. The Latins were over here. This is and that. Yeah. More segregated. But in that school, I would have been the only one there. And even there, I had to do a lot of like fighting and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's some.
So I grew up there and then I come to Union, and then in Union, it's a little more this and that. And everybody's like, oh, you trying to act ghetto or you trying to act this. And I was like, what are you talking about? I was just like, this is the first place that I moved to that I have my guard down. I'm not worried about none of you guys.
Right. Yeah, ain't shit.
Yeah, all day. And I used to fight a lot in middle school. I'm saying I used to fight because I felt like
you were gaining your stain.
Yeah. But also, it was like all these guys.
I gotta say it like that sometimes,
That's fun.
Yep. Because I felt like a lot of kids, they would test you because they think that you're trying to act a certain way. When I'm like, you're the one acting because you're trying to act like you're in this gang and all that stuff. I was like, when I grew up, there were real gangbangers that didn't even act like you guys, didn't promote it, didn't do anything like that. They were just about their life
Real G's move in silence.
all day.
They just want to see if you pussy or not.
Well, that's it. Well, I mean, I don't know, man, because like
test. A lot of people test.
A lot of guys.
a lot of people. Well, I mean, I grew up around G checking, so
Yeah,
that
all
was a
day.
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thing. They're gonna
So-
check see if
Bro.
you pussy.
That's the thing, though. Like, obviously, I'm a lot older, but that was my mentality always. It's just like, not G check, but it's just like, yo, I don't talk bad about anything. Don't say anything to nobody. This is not. But it's just like, yo, you say something to, I'm going to G check you. And it matters how your response is to me.
Oh, that wasn't my experience with it. My experience was like just randomly, like they walk up to yo G check, and all of a sudden it was like you either hooked off or you fucking got beat.
Oh,
Nah, all day. I used to swing first all the time.
Yeah, I had
all day.
So long story short, I'm gonna say a quick story. I'm walking from one, and those that grew up in Elizabeth know what I'm talking about. There was different houses, right? I'm sure you're aware of this, right?
I know Elizabeth.
They're now academies. They're all called academies
Yeah.
or whatever. So I went the first 2 years. I went to the main building, which is where the Dunn Sports Center is.
Mm-hmm.
And the second 2 years, I went to the vocational building, which was Edison House. So, and at the time, I'm gonna admit this, but I played tennis. So I went from
I mean,
well, man, I was actually all right. I was an all right tennis player, but you know,
You got the hair for it. All you need is a headband.
yeah. I had more hair back then, but and less beard.
Go ahead, Roger.
So I'm going from Edison to the main building, and I'm walking up that one main street to go there that connects the two, and then like these two kids just walk up, and it's me and like three other guys, but they're all like not to be disparaging, whatever, but they weren't like hard type individuals, you know what I mean? And the one dude's like, yo, G-check. And all of a sudden, like, he, like, throws down and starts hooking off on this one kid. And I'm like, hey, yo. And I said his name. And he's like, he looks at me, goes, oh, shit. He goes, no, you guys are good. And I knew him back from middle school.
Yeah.
He's like, let him go, let him live.
So think about it. That's a really, like, that's old hood stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's all street knowledge.
Ooh.
If you look at it at business or hustle or any type of hustle, it's the same.
Business is it's hustling.
It's the same as when it comes to any corporation or whatever. If you know somebody or anything like that, it's very territorial. It's very like some sort of or code or respect or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you take that from the street to corporation, it's no difference.
Yeah, because they're going to G-check you.
Yeah, well,
It's different.
yeah.
It's different, bro. I've been in those rooms.
Board members and shit like that.
That's
yeah.
why I'm happy I moved, to where I moved, and I got to see all those lights. Because now I'm a chameleon. I could blend in anywhere. You put me in any room.
Chameleonaire, you said?
Yeah, a chameleon.
He's like a millionaire. I'm like thinking of the dude that made the song.
Yeah, the rapper. I'm like,
I don't even remember the song.
It was good while it lasted.
Was that See Me Rolling? They hating that one?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
they see me rolling,
They hating,
trying to catch me
riding dirty.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it's really like you put me anywhere, I'll blend in and I'll feel comfortable.
And it's funny because that not to make it sound the same, but I myself I even experienced that too. So like right after high school, I was hanging out with some friends that I knew from high school, right? We all used to go to street races and shit like that and hang out. And then some of these kids got involved with another group of kids, and next thing you know, they're popping and stealing cars and shit. And then me and my boys that were part of that group that weren't a part of that, we're getting accused of that. Like we go to 440, and my one boy,
if you're rolling with that, but
right? My one boy was like, "Yo," we see the sticker on the car, and it was like, "Yo, you part of them?" I'm like, yeah, that's our car. And all of a sudden, like he went to go, he's like, "Yo, what the fuck?" He's like, "Y'all stole my boy's car." This and that.
Street code.
Right? It was one of those things. Like, yo, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Meanwhile, he wasn't even like a drag racer; he was a drifter.
Doesn't even matter, bro. You repping them.
But I was like, it was between that and a couple of other things, and I had one of my siblings came up to me and asked me, "What were you doing with this person?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, how would you know that I was?" Mind you, this is 2005, 2006. How the fuck would you know I was hanging out with this person? All of a sudden, come to know is like, Jakes were watching him.
Yeah,
The cops were watching him. So then one thing led to another, and came back to one of my siblings. I was like, you know what? Let me stay the fuck away from this.
Block is hot.
And I started hanging out in Union, and in Union, I like it's different people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Mind you, there are some people that are very similar to that, but that's the point. But it's like I started developing this like different part of my personality in the way I speak.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And the next thing you know, I started like you were saying, like a chameleon. Like you can put me anywhere and I could talk to anybody.
Yeah, all day.
It depends on how I speak to them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like doing this podcast is very weird for me because like if I'm talking to you or if I'm talking to somebody I grew up with or if I'm talking to like Joe or, you know, whatever, or just somebody like completely new that I've never met before, I sound like a different person from time to time.
Have a different conversation every 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Imagine that. Imagine having a totally different conversation.
Unless you're cutting Frank, in which case it takes an hour, but
no, he's quick.
That's my Frank moment of the episode.
He has nothing to talk about.
Fuck Frank. Yeah, he doesn't sponsor none of this, and I'll say his name. Go ahead, try to sue me. You need money to sue. Frank, you're not spending your money. I got it. Let's go.
You got Jewish lawyers. Come see him.
Anyway, but yeah, I love the fact that everybody here shits on Frank. He's such a nice guy, but it's so
he's awesome.
He gives you the bullets to gun.
But he's such a troll, bro.
Yeah,
successful troll. He's hilarious.
I might as well say I might
me, but I don't like. I don't see.
Oh no, he trolls him hardcore.
All day.
I die laughing.
No, dude, he knows how to push my buttons.
Yeah,
perfectly.
Yeah.
No,
when he's fucking
bro.
I do
every time.
No, it's all right, bro.
I mean, I used to be a lot easier to work up in the past. Not as much anymore.
Look, you said you were going to do something. You built this whole thing.
And he was a doubter.
Not even that.
He was, though.
What has he built? He can't even finish his S2000.
He can't even put a diff in his S2000.
Bro, so what he do? He bought another one. When he told me he's buying another one, I was like, finish your first one, you fuck.
Turn your microphone up, Tori.
Finish your first one,
Come
you
on,
fuck.
Man. I bought M3. I didn't finish my Volkswagen.
I mean,
yeah, you bought category.
You bought two M3s.
You're not building your Corrado. You're building a house over your Corrado.
This is
that's the upper hand I always have on Frank.
Hot take. So that's true. That's true because he has 2 cars in 1 garage
and no kids.
Yeah. Well,
big factor.
Whatever. That's our segment of the day for Frank.
That's it.
And Frank gets a segment in every single fucking episode. I think there's been maybe 3 episodes that I've done, and now we're on episode 14.
Yeah.
That he has not had a segment, and that's because they didn't know him.
Exactly, and they're so blessed.
That's actually not true.
Those 3
one of them he did know him.
Those 3 people are also the only 3 people I don't know or don't cut.
This is also true.
I cut every single one of your guests. Well, except Kudo, I don't cut him. I mean, who cuts Jesus?
Except Jesus himself.
Yeah. Except Jesus himself.
Yeah.
Yo, you know what's funny? I forgot to mention that when we did our episode, our own personal. I meant to say that he was my own personal Jesus. Introduce him as that, but it didn't come out that way. Yeah. All right, you want to take a quick break?
Yeah. So they were seeds that my uncle drilled out, made a chain out of,
right,
and stuff like that, and then he coated them so they wouldn't crack. But they ended up still cracking. So I stopped rocking it. But no, they were fire. That was always
that was a thing. That was a thing at one point
before I met you.
Oh yeah,
way before.
Yeah.
Microphone.
Sorry.
That's all right, dude.
So yeah. So I got introduced to. So around when I was like in middle school, I started hanging around with some of my cousins that were heavy into the street racing. So I caught the tail end of Avenue P.
Oof, good old days.
Yeah.
We touched on that a little bit on the last episode, but
so mine, like I was obviously too young to drive when I started going, because I'm talking about like 12 to 13 is when I started going.
Damn.
When I met you, I was 15. I already owned my first car.
You were you driving already? It was a Civic, right?
Yeah. No, so when I met you, I was driving, but when I owned my first car, I had no license, I had nothing, right? So I bought my first car at 15.
I too like to live dangerously.
Yeah. So I bought my first car at 15. I had SI CRX, full V16 swap.
Wow.
And that's actually where I met the mutual friend that got us connected. What actually was after that, because I started getting really into just going to 440, going to the Dunkin', doing all that. Because you got to think about it, like, we were 15, 16. There was nothing to do Friday, Saturday night. And I was already making money cutting hair. So I was out. My parents couldn't tell me not to stay home. I was like, I'm good.
Right.
So I would leave my house, get a ride to my car, which was located in Irvington. And then I would go from there hop in it, drive it, and then drive it to the street races. Because why the fuck do you need registration or insurance? If you're caught street racing, you're caught street racing. I'm going to be fucked either which way.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I was 15 going to this, doing all this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
my man had a car out there street racing, and I didn't have shit. I had a fucking Toyota Avalon.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like I lived so 15, many different lives at the same time.
Yeah.
Also at 15 was sophomore to junior year, which is when I got into cosmetology. So in cosmetology, I had to be good student, do everything. I was really friendly with all the staff and all that stuff. And then outside of 15 was also when I started working at a barbershop.
Oh, okay. Again, so you were making real money then.
So yeah, I had my own chair.
Right.
Because before, when I worked at the barbershop, I was sweeping up and I was shaving up my boys. Then I went to the basement, and at 15, I started cutting in the barbershop. So, boom, like
paid rent.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Oh my god. Like, yeah, I was hustling all day, like working this and that. And then my good friend Tiago was the only other person that kid around our age that.
But that's not how I met you, though. I met you through Bill.
Yeah. So that's. But all right. So.
Billy,
we'll go back. Yeah,
Billy boy.
Bill to this day is.
You gotta tell him to watch this.
Yeah, he's a token in my life.
He's a character, that's for sure.
Oh my god, yo. So, which is why I had the CRX. He had a CRX.
That's right, he did.
He had a CRX. So yeah, that was the time that I was cool with Bill. I was cool with all three of them. Bill, Bob, and Brian. I don't remember them. Yeah. But none of them were into cars. Well, Brian was. But Bob wasn't. Bob was into Euro stuff.
I vaguely remember that guy.
Yeah. So no, Bob. It was Bob. It was Bob and Bill that were into cars. Bob was into cars a little bit. Bill was gun ho. He was the one that got me into cars. So I met Bill when I was in 7th grade, from walking home from school in middle school, because they would chill. The Union, the middle school is like, for me to walk home, it was kind of had to walk through the high school.
Okay.
So they would chill in this spot called the Hut.
Okay.
Anybody that was from 2002 to 2000, at least 6 in Union knew the Hut. It was like a little spot in the playground.
That's the first time I'm actually hearing about it.
About the Hut, yeah, the Hut. Was
actually, no, it's not the first time, but
yeah, because they would do everything there. That's where they would hang out. They would smoke. They would chill all day. So I had to walk through there to go home, and that's where I met all these guys. And like how I was always mature for my age, so they gravitated towards me, and I was cool with all of them. And then Bill was into cars, so then when I started going to the street racing, I saw Bill there, so I'm like, oh, somebody else I know,
right?
Mutually, boom, we started connecting.
Right.
Yeah, so then I met you through Bill and all that stuff, because I was going to Duncan, but by the time I met you, I was more like 17.
Right. Yeah, I know it was right around. I think you were already driving one of those. It might have been your sister's car, I think, at the time.
No, because so around 17,
it was a Civic Coupe.
Yeah, so I knew you before that, because I met you when I had the 87 4-door.
Yes.
I had an 87 4-door with no center console, no nothing. I used to drive from the right hand side. It was a left hand drive car. I used to sit on the right. You've
always had JDM shit.
Yeah, it had no mirror on the passenger side.
We'll get them on the Euros one day. By the way, hold on. Speaking of which, I want to make a comment for anybody watching or listening. I heard quite a bit of commentary on the offshoot. By the way, if you have any comments, leave them in the YouTube comment section. That would help me out a lot, instead of texting me or reaching out to me, because it it would help me out. You know what I mean?
No, definitely.
But
the content up. Come on, guys.
Thank you. The commentary I was getting was, it would look like a Euro fuckfest the way you guys were talking.
Definitely was. There was not one Jay. And Jay, I expected more from Jay. He's a Nissan head. I mean, I know he's a mechanic, but like, come on.
He's a Beamer guy.
Wait, first of all, when you guys mentioned the GTA car, you guys didn't mention the the Lotus Carlton.
You told me about this. Yes.
The Lotus Carlton. Come on.
I got to pull that up.
Pull that up. That is the Mafia car from GTA 3. It's the Lotus Carlton, and they built that car. It was literally the #1 bank robbing car in Italy.
Hold on. Let me pull this up. So, Lotus Carlton.
Me and Bill geeked out about this car. Yeah, look at that. That's the car from GTA.
Hold on.
It is. It definitely is.
Bro, if you see videos, this shit is fucking out, bro. I can't remember the specs on it. I looked it up when I was fucking 15,
Yo,
16.
so you want to know something interesting? This car came over to the U.S. as the Sterling. That was the brand.
Yeah, but they didn't put the same motor that they had out there.
No, because believe it or not, you want to hear something crazy? The motor that came in this car as the Sterling was a J Series, a Honda J Series.
Oh.
Yeah. That's pretty wild. And then they made a turbo version, which was not a J Series; it was something else. Yeah. But this was a pretty dope looking car.
That was either turbo or even twin turbo, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
that car, yeah.
Bro, this is an Opel.
Yeah, it's Opel Corsa.
Yeah, that's not a Corsa. That's a Astra.
Astra, thank you.
It's the old Astra.
Bro, if you see a video, there's videos of this car.
Yep.
Flying like the cops are trying to chase it, and this shit just launches on them.
See, I made a car that looks
bro,
just like
think
this
about
too.
It. It's a perfect bank robber car, bro. It got 4 doors. It's
for more whores.
All guts, nothing fancy.
Shout out to Rittenhouse.
Oh yeah.
Oh, peep the wagon though.
Wagon? I had never seen that.
Peep the wagon. Yo,
when I looked
offset rims,
wagons, bro.
Bro, you see the wheels though?
When I looked up this car, we couldn't find. Me and Bill was trying to buy one. We couldn't find one that had over 80,000 miles. I felt like they all broke down around 80,000 miles.
Well, what brand was it? It was a Lotus.
Lotus, yeah.
It was built in England.
That's British.
Probably.
There you go. That's it. 80,000. Yo, Brits. I'm sorry, man. Not to offend anybody, but they can't build a fucking goddamn car worth a damn unless it's a McLaren.
Nah, bro. This car was dope. It just didn't last long because
I feel like is this the only color they came in?
Yeah, it's a bank robber car. Yo,
dark green and black.
Someone painted one white.
The whole purpose for this car was to get 4 of your homies, go rob a bank, and then be out and shit on the cops.
Oh, so 90s.
Yeah, bro.
Those are arches.
Yeah. All right.
That's like the Germans, man. They built a 12 valve VR.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So that was my first problem with the episode.
Yeah. So I got
and I'm a JDM guy.
I got a lot of Well, that's the thing. I got a lot of shit from the JDM guys.
A good JDM guy.
Yeah, I mean, look. So I grew up in the JDM era that it was just about all go. There was no show, all go. And if you did anything kind of showish, it was still to go. You didn't alter your bumpers. You didn't camber your wheels. You didn't do anything unless
fresh, bro.
It was unless it was to go fast. It was no purpose to
Mad
do
Dapper.
Bro, you remember what it used to be like? You had some shit fucking Civics.
It was all
that were moving.
It was all about a sleeper. The main thing was building a sleeper. And it was not to look good.
I still believe in that.
It was just
to this day.
It's just a hustle.
Yeah, it's just everything's a hustle,
bro.
Everything's a hustle.
Yo, I knew a kid, right? Ready for this? You probably know him, Quasi.
Yeah.
Okay. I was cool with him. He grew up around the corner from me, and we were all part of the same car clique or whatever. We were all in the cars. I went to high school with him. He had a 98, I think it was a 98 Silver EK DX, right? Single cam. And I think he had intake and exhaust, headers. I don't even think he had headers, in fact. And he probably had
it cheap for that car.
He didn't have not much for that car. It was just a regular D series non-VTEC, right? Yeah. And he was fucking changed up the timing a little bit. He got with some Dominican cats. I don't know who they were.
He
changed up the timing.
VTEC. all you have to do is you tap the block. You
No. It was just a matter of timing or whatever. But the kid he could drive.
Yeah, that's
he could drive, bro.
Take those cars and you could. Those are cars that like they're meant. Like if you're a driver, you bring out so much potential, bro. Shout
out to Quasi, bro, doing his thing out in North Carolina.
I had an EG bubble that I tapped the VTEC that was activated by my high beams.
What?
I could crack.
Oh, VTEC. You just like cracked VTEC on the high beams?
I cracked VTEC in reverse. Yeah, I could crack VTEC anytime I wanted.
Stop.
Yeah,
bro. It's just like a Bosa's face. He's like, wait,
I've
what?
never seen that, and I really want to see that.
Yeah, you could crack
VTEC in reverse.
You could crack.
Well, you shouldn't have bought that big ass truck. You should have bought yourself a Civic.
Nah, I love that truck. Thanks, Jake. Nah, man.
State Farm.
Wow.
No, but yeah, so I grew up like, obviously, so I started at 15 with those cars. Then by the time I was 17, I got a 87 for I only like old cars.
The Accord?
No, I had a Civic. It was a 87 Civic. I had an 87 Civic, no center console.
Right, I remember that car.
And it had no passenger side mirror, bone stock, everything carbureted. Yeah, carbureted. Bro,
wow.
It wasn't until 88 they started adding fuel injection.
Yeah. That's why the Civics back. I also had a token. I have had a Civic S, which is before SI because it wasn't injected.
So it was just a sport.
It was the original SI. It only came in black or red.
Oh.
Yeah. Honda, a Honda S. I think it was called Honda S600. I had one. I have a black one.
Wait, S600 was like a roadster.
No. Not, I don't know if it was the 600. I don't know if it was
because the Honda S600.
It's a Honda S.
Yeah, it was the precursor.
If you go Honda S. They have a commercial. It literally says the only hard decision you're gonna make is if you want it in red or in black. That's what I used to love about Honda, because it was just like if you wanted one specific car, it wasn't all these.
You said Civic? 600 Civic?
Civic, yeah. Or just look up, yeah.
Civic
I don't remember if it was Civic. I mean, if it was 600, just look up Honda S. 83. It was 83, mind you. Oh, so you got to go to 83.
Or was it this?
No. It's the.
That was like an MG.
It's crazy.
Yo, I love this DuckDuckGo. This shit. Oh, yeah.
Is it? No, it's not this one.
Take out 600. Yeah, take out 600. Just put Civic S.
Yeah.
Honda 83S.
Yeah.
Bam.
Maybe that's
here we go. Hold on.
Pictures too.
Hold on. Let me.
I had the black one.
Remember Fresh Meat?
So that I remember I told you because I still had it at that time.
Like this black one?
Yeah, literally the same one I had. Yeah.
Oh, I do remember you having this car.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I do.
We went to Fresh Meat at King University.
Yo,
I had my Corrado.
You know why? Can you tell me why this one looks extra good to me?
Yeah, because of the RSs.
Super S's.
Bro, I was already configuring how we could put a B series in it.
Good luck.
Tight engine bay. Wow. And it had the hood that popped forward.
Yep.
Yeah.
That shit's so
dope.
This
what did they call the Civic before the Civic? It was CVVC or something like that? It had a different name for it.
It was just numbers.
SEX.
It was just numbers.
Yo, I love these wheels.
Oh, $3,000? I'll definitely cop that.
Bro, I had the wheels. It was all original. I drove it home.
I'll definitely cop that for $3,000.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, no, it's just an image. So it must be like a link to a forum or something like that, you know.
No, yeah.
Got to host the image.
So I had that. After I had the 87, I got that. Then I had a 93 Accord. I had an EK.
Yo, the Accord.
97.
That Accord was a fucking trooper, dude.
Mine?
Yeah, man.
Is so dope.
Bro, I had a 93 Honda Accord with over 300, probably 300.
You had mad miles on that shit.
320,000 miles, still chirping second, pulling hard.
Yep.
Those old F series, not to be confused with the F20C because it's not the best motor ever.
No.
But those old F series motors, those single joints, yo, they were good, man.
Bro, he used to drive it. He used to drive it all the time.
I don't know if you ever heard of what was his name? Busy Moto.
Busy Moto, yeah, of course, yeah.
His 800 horsepower single was the F series.
It was an F series, right? Yeah, somebody else had told me about that. Yeah,
yeah, they hold.
That's how that was his claim to fame.
Yeah, that's what.
Before he started getting into the whole Porsches and he got made that crazy ass
Odyssey. Insane.
Yeah, that Odyssey
insane,
shit.
Dude.
Yo, he was a guy like he was racing the same type as like Tony One and fucking all those guys in that era. You know,
back in the day, I used to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
nah, he's
the Nopi. Well, I think I don't know if he did race Nopi or not. I can't remember. For the throwback for that shit.
He's legit.
Anyway, yeah. So I grew up with those. I grew up with those guys. Like,
he got his own show now on Discovery. I mean, Motor Trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I love old school simple cars. All I used to do was you do whatever to the motor.
Yeah.
Well, the way I like to build my cars is I start with suspension. I do everything with suspension first.
Not bags, right?
No. I'm an old school guy.
Zoom in on that, man.
I got bags on one car.
I can respect the bags now, but
back when? No.
Me, I didn't get coilovers till my most recent Civic. I didn't ever even get coilovers. I was a T Springs.
Yep.
I was a T Springs.
Taquico shocks,
bro.
That's the best combo.
Yeah, with the white, you get the dampening. Come on, bro.
Yeah. For a Honda, that's like one of the best suspension setups. Bushings,
camber kit to keep them straight. You know, upper control arm, tie bar, all that. I did. That's the first thing I did. When you built the car, I did suspension first because the way the car feels is amazing just by doing that. Just by doing that. You don't even need the power yet because you got to remember it's a small car. And when it comes to racing, it's weight to power ratio. So if your car feels way better, you're going to be faster just by how you're able to handle it.
But at that time, were coilovers as available as it is now?
No,
many options?
no. Yeah. Also that, but still,
I don't know. They were out there.
They were definitely
not like they are now, bro.
Yeah, but it's
Clovers
like
have
there's
advanced
so
a lot.
there's so much.
They were out there and they were just as good. It was just like how anything when they first come out there and
expensive as
they're
shit.
fucking expensive. You got to remember,
Yeah.
I was making money, but no, not like that.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to buy Super Streets out here.
I feel you.
Because that was the best money could buy for a Honda.
Yeah, Super
was
Street.
it T and Super Streets?
Yeah, I had Super Street on a Mazda MPV.
Well, nobody was putting a Bilstein on
Did
that.
you really?
Yeah. I've owned cars, bro. I've owned a lot of cars.
Did it have a Chuchero box though?
Of course, no, it was before Checo box, but boxes weren't. I always do. So in my 87,
Yeah, but boxes were a bigger thing back then.
Yeah, but in my 87 four door, I had a system in it. I had a 15-inch L7 in the trunk.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the big square sub.
Yeah.
But when you look up the
kicker.
It's a kicker. Yeah, L7 kicker, giant sub.
Yeah, I remember those.
But I couldn't get the box to fit in the trunk, so I took out the spare tire. And I made a custom box to take up the space of the spare and everything. And then I put two 6x9.
Fuck a spare. I need this fucking these beady beats.
all day. And then I put two 6x9s in the trunk. So that way when you pop the trunk, you still hear clear music. Because I used to hate that.
Oh, just
like you just hear the So and then on the top deck I had.
Sorry to anybody who's listening to audio.
Yeah. I had two EVs and I had two 3-inch titanium tweeters. That's on the back deck. And the front, and then the front, I only had speakers in the front.
The titanium tweeters they were the cone joints, right?
Yeah, they looked like this glass, and it was like a cone.
Yes, I remember those. Yeah,
so I had that with two EVs on the trunk, on the deck, on the rear deck.
Damn.
Yeah, bro.
That's what that.
And I used to pull up to high
Mazda
school like
MPV,
blasting,
bro.
No, this was my 87 four-door Civic.
Oh, yeah. My bad. Yeah, you know,
truck lens in a van.
Yo,
my spare was the size of this cup, by the way, and I used to just have that shit behind my.
I felt like
seat.
that.
Like literally this thick.
I felt like the audio thing was way more prevalent, like fucking 20 years ago, and even before that.
Yes,
like the competitions and all that other shit.
Facts.
And now it's like if you want to see some shit like that, you just got to go to New York. No offense.
No, all day.
No offense, but your people. But as your people, usually it's like you see the memes going around. Yeah, man.
Day, but if you go to DR, the audio is such a. It's its own culture. Like everything has been, it branches off to their own.
Puerto Ricans are big on that too, man.
All day, bro. You see those ultras with those freaking things.
Yeah, man.
Suzuki sidekicks. You see them shits.
Yo,
yeah.
Shout out to my brother. That was his first running car. He had a Suzuki sidekick, and that shit had a beat in it, bro. He had a 92 because that was like the thing back then. Like he was into audio
because the speedometers went by 5s. The sidekicks, the speedometer went by 5s.
Yo, sidekicks are both very deadly but very fun to drive.
Yeah.
It's like a scooter.
Usually how it goes.
No, you don't want to get caught fucking your friends catching you on a scooter or a moped, but they're fun.
Yeah, they are fun. But yeah, so that's the way. Like it was just, I don't know. I wasn't. That's the way I grew up. Like I was just 15, 16. I would go every Friday, Saturday to go street racing till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, all the time. And then I would literally go and then come home.
For me, it was Thursday through Sunday.
Yeah. Thursday through Sunday, all day.
Yeah, I started way later than you guys.
But I would go to all these street
FP
races.
wasn't a thing by the time you were coming around.
Absolutely not. Just
the Ramis wasn't a thing because I was there when the Ramis got shut down. When they put the speed bumps on the Ramis.
I went to one of them with the speed bumps.
Yeah.
It was not the same.
Yeah.
Bro,
he started going when I had my Accord. He went one time with T.I.
He probably started going when they started racing in front of the prison, which I always thought was wild. I already wasn't going by then. Yeah. But when I was going, when you were going, it was at the end.
Story. Yeah,
it was over by the end, by where you could catch Raymond Boulevard and 109 truck route.
That's when I started going. When I met TACC. He used to take me to these shits.
So
that's how
I got a crazy story about fucking.
When you go by, you're on the Ramis, and then you could make the left to go up the ramp to go back on 109 to go to 440, or you could go straight to go to Raymond, right?
Right.
So, boom. Boys come, we're there. Boys come, we're going up the ramp.
The police, by the way, everybody.
Yeah, the boys.
Bravo.
The Jakes.
They're on top.
Which is hilarious to me.
Yeah. They're on top of the ramp. So all of a sudden, this is like a scene from a movie. There's like 40 cars trying to reverse on this on-ramp.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
Bridges up?
No, not the bridges up. The cops blocked the top of the ramp.
Yo.
Yeah. So the North cops were coming from there. the Jersey City cops were coming from the top. They tagged up and they tried to catch us.
Damn.
Yo, you know what? Times I've dipped from the cops is ridiculous.
So I got a similar story, same area, it's a little different. It's fucking regular Saturday night, right? Boys show up. I had the Altiza Ultima, the champagne joint, right?
With the gold trim,
with the Alteza lights, son. That shit was the Altiza champagne. Me and Joe had the champagne Ultimas back in the day, son.
Man.
He had the Ferrari, I had the Lambo, you know.
Yeah. With the brake kits.
Wow. Original champagne poppy. So I'm in that, and I don't know who I was with. I was with another person. I wasn't by myself. I would never go by my. Well, I went once or twice by myself.
I used to bring my little. My sister used to go in her '97 coupe, bone stock DA. I used to tell her like, "Yo, stay here. Boys come, follow me. Never hit the brakes and never look back." So never got caught. My sister never got caught.
I'm chilling.
Never got close to getting caught.
I'm chilling. You remember how they used to line up to race, right? So I'm chilling on the right side, the right lane. Let's say, right, that side. And I'm like, looking, I'm watching. All of a sudden, I see lights. I'm like, all right, here come the boys. It was nothing new. It was like, okay, boys, 440, let it cool down. Rinse and
the back roads.
Yeah, rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, legit.
So, you turn, pull. Everyone's pulling out. All of a sudden, like I see two fire trucks coming down that ramp. Oh, and I'm like, nah, no fucking way. So I turn over in front of the tankers. Remember the two tankers that used to always be parked over there, and the dirt, the gravel. Mm-hmm. So I whip it around there, and I see that it's completely blocked off with cops on the one. I'm like, I'm fucked. I'm so fucked, bro. I was like, yo. I turn around, right back in the correct direction, and I look over. I'm like, yo, I can make it. There was a gap between the curb and the fire truck. Oh man. And it was like it was a generous gap. Yeah, it was a generous gap. So I'm assuming the fire department was just like can't stop everybody.
Their whole mission was to get you the fuck out of there. It wasn't really to they'll catch a couple.
No, but at that time, I've come to find out that was actually an operation they were running to try to. Because remember, they would occasionally have these. There was the one that had the dude with the red Civic that was on the cover of the Star Ledger. What the fuck was the dude's name, bro?
Eddie, my cousin.
Oh, that was your cousin? Yeah.
Eddie Ruiz.
Yeah.
Yeah, my cousin.
Fuck? Yeah, that was a thing, bro. He was on a cover of Star Ledger. Bro, there was a big crackdown. That was on FP, wasn't it?
No, that was under Ramus. That was under Ramus. Yeah, because then shortly after that is when they did the 78 bus. I was there too when they freaking came to.
I don't know about that.
The 78 bus?
No.
Oh, they came with helicopters. They came with
street racing history out here.
they came with on the. You remember? On 78.
No, it was wild times.
On 78, like. If you look on the on-ramps, there's always these crazy hills of grass. Mm-hmm. That's where they came from. When I thought I was in a movie, bro, because we're all there.
Time reference was what? This was 2000.
This is closer to 2008.
Okay. Just to give reference.
Yeah, this is closer to 2008. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. The thing with my cousin happened at Raymond when the cop shot at them. That's why I was on the Star Ledger.
Oh really?
Yeah. So he shot through their car to stop them.
Oh shit, that I didn't know.
Yeah.
I know they impounded the car and he was like on the cover and it was like this whole thing.
Yeah. So he was trying to dip. So I'm not saying that the cop was
right. Right. That's what I had heard as well.
Nobody was right in that situation.
No, I mean,
nobody was right.
Nobody's right. Correct.
Nobody was right in that sense. But yeah, he shot at them and all that. But then he says we weren't doing anything good either because like I said, like the amount of times that I did from the cops, but mainly the cops were on.
That was part of the fun though.
Yeah, bro. I used to be with Montalban. This guy has like 80 nicknames. Montalban.
I know. Yeah.
Ricardo.
Yeah.
Can't do this job without Ranch, which is legit one of his names. That's a whole.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah. So when let me finish.
This go ahead.
So
we got to move on to other things too. But go ahead.
So he would talk. He had a EG 4-door single. I don't know what he did to this car. But the way he would drive it, he like mastered how to drive it, and he would dip on these boys like to the
that orange joint, right?
No,
the reddish, red. It was red.
Black hood.
Yeah. It ended up going orange because it faded out, but I got you.
Yeah, 100%. That and his CRX also faded out.
That 4-door, that 4-door was no joke. That was a sleeper, bro.
That was the number one sleeper that I've personally been in. I'm like, what the fuck you do to this?
Yeah,
car?
some people just got wheel like it's. Yeah. stupidest thing.
The way he used to dip, like toy with them,
Yeah.
like toy with the boys, like
He knew his shit. Yeah.
yeah.
And he was wild like that. What's up, yo?
Yeah, no, Beans was wild. Beans was wild. So back when I had the 87 4-door,
Right.
somebody I got hit, right? So I couldn't find parts for this car nowhere. So then we found parts in this abandoned junkyard. So the car was sitting on top of an 18-wheeler.
It sounds like beginning to a very scary movie, but go ahead.
Yeah. So the car was, so I used to go after hours, hop the fence, and go get these parts off of this car.
This is over 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah. Well over, yeah.
They can't press charges on you after 10 years for some shit like
also,
that.
it was abandoned back then. Nobody owns that yard.
Oh.
Yeah, it was abandoned. It was already, because, they
It's probably owned by Amazon now, but.
Yeah. I don't think it's there anymore. And the wildest part, it was right by the Rawway prison.
Oh, I know exactly where the fuck you're
That's
talking
where all
about.
the junkyard, but that one was abandoned because that one had nothing but 18-wheelers and old trucks.
Yes.
I'm talking about like from the 50s.
It's still abandoned.
Yeah.
It's over by Fortune.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Now,
if that car, if they're still there, you'll see a half gutted 4-door Civic on
Probably
top of a truck.
rotted out by now.
So I used to go there and get our parts, but everything with a Civic is a 10. So we get there and freaking Beans drops the 10. There's there's wheat all the way up to
10 millimeters have built-in black holes, son.
Yeah.
You got
Convinced. Yo, convinced, bro.
Bro.
Shout out to Eat Sleep Race. They actually sell like in case of emergency break, and it's a 10 mil.
Yeah.
No, so the amount of times that I went there over 10 years ago, because I owned this car when I was like 15.
Right.
So the amount of times I went there with a jumper pack and a plasma cutter, and I cut the whole front end off of this
Get the
car.
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Ingenuity, son.
Yeah. We had to hop the fence. We used to have to hop the fence, get it, and then throw the parts over to
I know a couple guys out there that might be watching this that know about that.
Yeah, I stripped the whole front end of the car. I mean, one
It was on top of the 18-wheeler?
Yeah, so we had to get on top of another one and then work on it across from it. Work from it across from it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's some wild shit.
And also, it was also like 1, 2 in the morning.
Did you know all this about your friend?
No. A lot of people don't.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. I live like 4 different lives.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yo, it's so funny.
Hardworking dad.
Yeah, shout out. You are our father. Yes. Cheers to that. Salud.
I'm the pappy.
Just,
You guys ever seen the movie Life?
I'm the only one here without a kid. But
enjoy.
Depends on the weather.
That's terrible. All right. So
enough about street racing, bro.
Yeah, man.
I'm an old school JDF guy. Now, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
What other part of my life? I'm a barber. I've been cutting hair for a long time.
Let me ask you a question, because you've dealt with the entertainment industry, right?
Yeah.
So you got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, definitely. Right. So we can start at around 17. I was working at that barbershop, but I felt like I was the nicest one in that barbershop. 17 working around.
Cocky, huh?
Confidence, not cocky.
Honestly, I feel like I'm a very humble person, but sometimes you have to be cocky. And I'm not a cocky person in general, in a sense, but we're on here. I got to talk my shit.
Yeah, man. Say your piece.
Yeah. So I got it.
We're hanging out.
Yeah. So it's, I felt like I was the nicest one there, and I was around 30 and 40-year-olds. I was just like, yo, there's no way I could stay in this room.
Right.
Because if you're the smartest person or the nicest person in the room, get the fuck out the room.
You got to branch out.
You got to go. So I was in cosmetology in high school, this and that. And then I started going to hair shows because of cosmetology. And I saw the barbers on stage, and I was like, you guys aren't even that nice. So I was just like, I started just mingling. It wasn't a big circle back then. You understand? Like the industry, the hair industry wasn't so much for men. It was still very just acts out there. And you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't all these products and all that stuff. And this is like before they even started calling, like if you were a man into your style, it was before they called you metrosexual. Remember that? That was a whole phase for like 4 years.
Yeah, you were just like borderline gay before that.
No, it was weird. It was just like if you were a man and you put pomade in your hair, you're like, oh, that's metrosexual. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, I remember that was a thing.
It was like a 4-year run that was a term and became something. It was very strange. Anyway,
I got referred to that one time. That was fucking weird.
It made no sense.
You look a little metrosexual.
I did. You see what the fuck I look like now?
You have a comb over.
I mean, you're like if you put a little
fuck out of here.
If you put a little oomph in your hair, you're very Ace Ventura-ish.
Little oomph.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to mention the rules to you.
Oh no, roasting the host.
No, roasting the host. I'm just kidding.
That's the best part of the show, man. That's the roast.
I'm treating this like I'm like.
No, I'm fucking kidding. I'm kidding.
All I'm missing is my clippers, and we're in the shop, so it's the same rules.
Legit. Yeah. We went to Dunkin' in the last episode. This episode we're at the shop.
Yeah. So then when I started going there, I noticed that it wasn't that many barbers. So I started mingling with the barbers. And mind you, my whole time growing up, so I told you all the years in high school, street racing, right. I was still cutting hair through all this, and my mentor was still in and out. So Chaz, C-Has, giant celebrity barber. This guy's on movie sets. He's on TV shows.
He's out there doing his thing, man. Shout out to him.
Killing it, bro. He's my big brother. I'm so happy for everything that he's doing. He's literally has shown me everything that I know and has never been afraid to pass the torch.
He's been cutting our favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah, I mean, he cuts everybody, though. So he pretty much created the lane. And pretty much I got to take it and keep going in whichever way. So at that time, I was just with him. We were going to hair shows, this and that. I was learning how to do all these things, taking shear cutting classes, doing all this stuff. And then we started bumping into other barbers because the circle's small back then. It's very early on into that. So at the time, we met Curtis Smith, which is Diddy's personal barber.
Okay.
At this time, we met him because he has his own product line out. So very few barbers had their own product line out at the time. So once he met him, he saw how me and Chaz moved, and he's kind of like, yo, come to Atlanta. There's a giant hair convention show. It was called Barner Brothers. Right? Mm-hmm. So then when we go down there, it's kind of like if you go to the New York City car show, but except every station is a hair product or a big booth or stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
it's an industry convention.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's something like that down in Atlanta. So it's way bigger.
Mm-hmm.
So there we start mingling, this and that. And he sees how we work. He sees how we're like hustling, passing out flyers, doing all that stuff. And we're from Jersey. So he's kind of like, yo, I'm always in New York and I always need backup because he is getting so big. He can't get on every job that he gets called for. So he starts putting us on job. And he's smart because he starts us small. Like he started me on a Sean John and Nietzsche photo shoot for the clothing brand, and I was his assistant on the side, right? So I had my own pay, this and that, but he knew what he was doing. He couldn't make it to the job. So he put me on because he had to go cut Will Smith. So he's kind of like, yo, this is what you got to do, blah, blah, blah. Be careful with this and that, and whatever, this and that. But my first photo shoot, I had to cut these models. Every time they changed their clothes, I had to restyle their hair, do all this stuff. I'm there all day. Boom. That was he saw how I handled that. Then he had no holding back on putting me on new people.
So who was the first guy that you cut that like people would know?
He's a model. So the first,
that people would know.
Diddy will be the biggest one that you know, like, so it was like Diddy, for a long time I was cutting Diddy, Snoop Dogg, DJ Khaled,
Snoop.
I cut Gary Sheffield. I cut a lot of managers. I cut like big name managers. It was Diddy's manager, James Cruz. I cut Lady Gaga's manager. I cut
so you cut Lady Gaga? What the fuck?
I cut Kevin Lies. He's a big industry guy. I used to cut a lot of industry people.
That name's familiar to me.
Yeah, he's a huge industry guy. So these are all people that were in New York or in Jersey area.
Right.
So I started getting to that circle and just constantly cutting this and that. But then once you get into that, then you start peeling back that curtain and you just see how just the media, how the industry, how everything works. And it goes back to everything is a hustle. Everything, you know, you could go down to
it's all about money though at the end of the day, right?
It is, man. And
I mean that shouldn't be the case for a lot of people. I mean, like me personally, like if money brings you anything, my personal opinion, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
my personal opinion is money brings you comfort.
That's
Yeah,
the exact
it's-
word.
it's-
And
Comfort.
freedom. And
Yep.
freedom.
Financial freedom.
Yes. But
Financial freedom.
with
To
financial
have that
freedom,
comfort.
but with financial freedom, you gain other freedoms no longer available to you. Think about it. If you're always on the grind, right? What life do you end up living?
Well, I always say that because people always tell me, it's like, oh, you do what you love. It's easy for your job. I was like, no. My key to life, or what I
Right.
tell people is, you just got to find your love somewhere.
Right.
Because you could hate your job, but you could love what your job gives you the ability to do. You could have off on weekends. You could have paid vacations. You could have this stuff. I love what I do. It gives me none of that shit.
Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of people too. They live their lives. They learn to love what they do, even though they don't love it,
Yeah.
because it can provide them something.
Exactly. It could provide them something that they love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like me, like I spend a lot of time with my daughter and stuff like that. So I have to take away and I have to figure out other means to make up for that, because if it was up to my love of cutting hair, I could do that I could literally work, if I wanted to, I could work 24 hours.
Right.
It's not hard for me. Thankfully, I'm at that level, and I promoted myself.
I've seen you cutting hair and falling asleep at the same time
I mean,
and not fucking up.
I've literally have cut like probably like 22 hours of a day before.
I did a podcast sleeping.
Yeah.
True story. Halfway through.
I've cut like 22 hours of the day, and it doesn't bother me. I could literally cut hair all day, all night. Do I want to do that? No, because I have other things that I love. But that's the thing about, like, you talk about money. I learned to love this before I even knew money was involved in it.
Yeah, and that matters a lot, I think.
Yeah,
I feel like.
that's why my passion for the industry is a lot different than most, because most people fall in love with it because they see it as a money aspect and they could see how they could hustle and do it.
Right.
I fell in love with it before I even knew the value of money.
See, and it's a thing. I don't remember if it was Jordan Peterson that brought this up or whatever. But he had mentioned, he goes, it's not about living the dream. It's about living your passion. I believe it was him. I might have gotten this wrong.
That's well put together.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
that.
So
I
it could
like
have
that
been
a lot.
him. It
Yeah.
could have been him.
Sure.
So it's like, as long as you're passionate about what you are doing, then money will come, as long as you're good at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But
But if you're passionate enough about it, you learn to be good at it.
yeah, all
Right.
day, and it's just like, I don't know. I feel like a real key to any success that I've had has always been like, I do everything 100%. If it's not done 100%, then I don't do it at all.
Yeah.
And I'm very tactical about a lot of things that I do. Like I do.
I think that matters too.
I do a lot of
A
marketing.
little strategy.
I do a
goes
lot of
long
marketing.
way.
I do a lot of things, and a lot of things that I learned was through every life experience that I lived. You know,
Right.
like even going to the music industry, boasting about stuff like that. Like, yeah, I
Right.
just cut this person, this and that. Is it? Because
But that's the thing. You would never really boast about it. Like, you would just like nonchalantly be like, "Oh yeah, you know."
I
cut,
would
like,
say it to you guys, but I would post about it because that brings more clients in.
Yeah,
more
but no,
sense,
like,
stuff
that's
that.
expected.
as you as an
expected,
individual though, you were never one to like
Oh no, I'm very
hype
humble.
it up.
I'm
Yeah.
very
You were always
humble.
very humble about it.
Because-
Extremely humble.
Yeah,
because that's the thing is just, you got to remember.
and that matters too. I feel like, man.
Well, the way you carry yourself, because
Yeah.
that's
It
what
just lasts
also
longer.
that's
That
what also
respect.
has that's what also has gotten me even further, because when I get around all these people,
Right.
they see how I'm straight to business, how humble, how like, I mean, there's barbers that I know that got put onto jobs that are just like taking pictures, doing this. Yo, let me get your number. Oh, let's take a picture together.
Like the
Nah.
grind has changed. Yeah,
No, because so I was taught by a lot of OGs, and it's just like I cut many celebrities I have no photos of. I haven't even mentioned because
Right.
they weren't my client. I got put onto a job, and that's it. I'm there to do my job, and that's it. I'm not about posting this, doing that, this and that. The only reason I even mentioned those guys is because there's an unwritten rule that unless you cut them more than 3 times, you can't even speak about who you cut.
fair enough.
The first time you get put on,
Fair enough.
the first time you get put on is because somebody puts you on. Yo, I
Right.
need you to cover me. Cut this person.
You may do shit though.
Huh?
I'm saying like, you may do shit.
fuck
Yeah,
up,
yeah.
right? The second time is kind of like, yo, they came back, they need you. The third time is because they're asking for you.
Oh, okay.
And then after that, then you got to see how your relationship built. So I
Right.
never personally took a picture with Diddy. I screenshotted the picture he took and then posted it. And
Right.
after the haircut. Same thing with Khaled. Same thing. And even Khaled, I caught a lot of heat from the industry because of Khaled, because of his barber, his personal
Really?
barber, which I knew in a sense.
Right.
But the industry was just like, oh, you're posting like you're cutting hair. I was like, bro, I shout out. I always pay my respect. I give people their roses. I never disrespect anybody in a sense.
Right.
That's just not how I am. And,
but somebody felt some kind of way, obviously.
yeah, and then the industry was.
You're always gonna have that kind of drama.
Yeah,
you know,
but the problem is that like I did everything young, so I always felt like people felt like they can disrespect me or they talk to me differently because I was so young.
Right.
But I was already many years into this industry. Like there was one time I was supposed to judge a barber battle, right? So there was a lot of barber battles, conventions, and stuff like that. And at the last minute, they canceled me from judging because they said, "Yo, you're too young. Some of the barbers are going to feel disrespected that you're judging them." I was like, "But I've already been cutting over 10 years."
Right. So
like,
we're yeah, but it's the optics. Optics, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like industry is crazy and stuff like that. So then I've learned stuff like that, and it's like something that we spoke about earlier. How like everything is kind of like even corporations and stuff.
Oh, we're definitely going to be taking a dive into that in the next bit.
It's still a code. It's still a code because like like we're chameleons. Like I have to blend in, and it's just like I'm not getting G checked. Right. But that was a G check. It's just in a whole different industry.
Do you think these older cats, different like older barbers that been in the game for a minute?
You
see a young buck. Do you think they? Yeah, I have been. Thank you. Good times. Do you think they felt that way because they felt threatened?
I mean,
in a sense, I feel like if a young guy comes into your profession and he's pretty good at it,
I wouldn't perceive it. I don't know as much as you guys do, but I wouldn't perceive it that way.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes and no. Yes, for the fact that like how I am coming up and who I am being spoken of, because any OG, any big name in the hair industry, I personally know because I've been in it so long and I have personally touched them. And you've been to these shows with me. You see who I shake hands with. You see who I talk to. It's all the big names, and I know them personally.
Right.
Now,
awesome show, man, by the way. Awesome show.
I also chose not to continue down that path because how I felt that they treated me when I was so young. So I'm just like, that's not the lane I want to go to. It
burns you out.
Yeah. It definitely does. I've been burned out plenty of times, but that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like...
Sorry, I didn't mean to say burned out. I meant to say, like, it left a bad taste in your mouth.
No, 100%. 100%. It's just like, okay, if you guys are thinking like this and you're older than me, I was just like, by the time I reach to your level, I don't even want to be where you guys are. I want to be in a whole different thing. Y'all want to pick these lanes? I want to be on a boat somewhere else. Like I don't even want to be with you guys.
Right.
And he's been a good friend of mine since I opened up my shop. So it's been almost like 9 years. And I stopped chilling with barbers, just doing anything. I started bringing my own homies to the show to be like, I'm going because I got to show face, I got to work. But I'm bringing my own crowd. I don't want to chill around other barbers. I don't want to be around the industry because how shady or how they acted and stuff like that is just like, no, I know my place. I know my value. I know my worth. And I don't need...
And you have your own brand. Yeah. That's important.
No, 100%.
That's important.
That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like,
because you could be a barbershop and not have a brand.
Like I said, I've always been very business oriented. Like even when it was creating my whole logo and everything, I said we needed 3 logos. If you look at big names, they have 3 logos. Yeah. They have their sports or script, just their names. Right. I have that. You need a monogram, which is what I have here. Just an SB is like a stamp. Right. And then you need your marketing, your thing, which I have the Mr. Stache. Right. As your mascot. So if you look at McDonald's, they have Ronald. Yeah. They have the Golden Arches, and if they just write McDonald's.
No, Golden Arch. That's McDowell's. There you go. That's Mrs. Stache.
Yeah.
Mrs. Stache.
So I'm saying, so I created all those things. Right. It's kind of like I got to brand myself 100%. And that's the thing. You got to fake it till you make it. You legit, and a lot of people don't.
Yeah, I think you got to believe it till you make it. No,
you got to fake it till you make it. Okay. You understand? You got to make yourself more professional to become the professional that you've been faking that you are. You understand? Like even from the rip. Yeah, all day.
No, that's 100%, bro.
That's true, and people don't say that.
That is true.
That's me at work.
People don't peel back that curtain. Yo, when I was 14,
no, you just a fake ass.
I had a business, bro. At 14, I had a business card.
Yeah, that's wild shit, bro.
I had a legit business card that had my cell phone and my texting number because I used to have a sidekick back then.
2-way.
Yeah, I had a sidekick back then. Yeah, so I used to have that. That's what I'm saying. And people used to get this. Grown ass men used to get my business card, and I used to be like, yeah, I gotta cut you in my house though because I'm not that professional. But I've learned you gotta fake it till you make it.
Right.
Like I learned that. And even when I first opened up the shop, when I first opened up my shop, you would hit me up for an appointment today, right? I'd be like, no, I don't have nothing till next week. I'm not that busy.
You probably shouldn't have mentioned that secret.
No.
That's not a secret.
No. That's what I used to do when I first opened up my shop, right? Because you know what it was? That puts it in your head, yo, this guy is booked. I got to book him ahead of time.
He's legit.
So you
now,
build up a
so now 9 years later, I've had the biggest backup of my life. Back in July or August.
See, that's another thing too,
I was
right?
booked up for 2 months.
You can get too busy.
Yeah, I was booked up 2 months that people were like, yo, what the fuck do? I didn't know that I had a book so far in ahead.
See? Reoccurring.
Yeah.
Every Thursday. See?
Yeah, I know. I was going to
Guaranteed.
say.
Yeah,
No issues.
so I got backed up for over 2 months. Guys don't do 2 months booking. That's women do 2 months booking. Ahead of time.
See? Metro.
No. What are you talking about, son? Yo, he makes no money off of me. It's like charity work. I still pay you. But it's like charity work. He can't make a living off of me. You see what this
You
looks
don't gotta
like?
tell me that.
I know, man. That's why your beard.
You
That's
had
why
no
your beard.
barbershop with me.
That's why your beard's nicer than mine. I'm just saying.
Nah, that's all good.
By the way, every single guy I've had on. Oh no, sorry. Take it back. One exception. I was gonna say every single guy, but one guy has had a beard or some sort of facial hair.
A Pavano.
That's the one.
Yeah. But I did do his haircut for that show.
Oh, that's right. He did tell me. He did tell me that.
Got a fresh cut.
Yeah, it looked good when he was sleeping. Sorry.
So did mine.
Shout out.
Nah, yeah. So it's just kind of like that hustle, that thing has always been in me, and I used it in every sense. And that's the same thing when I cut the celebrities, but then you start peeling back that curtain, man. You start seeing
a lot of shit.
Bro, I was there for a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I was there for a lot of shit. Like I saw things happen, and I saw how the media put it out, and I saw how people use it as clickbait and stuff like that. So I want to say has to be 2013, 2014. I went to the Jay-Z and Diddy's VMAs after party.
Okay.
Club Dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, I'm. Bro, you muted your mic and we heard it on ours.
Don't worry, it won't come through. Go ahead, continue.
Okay. Yeah, that was wild.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Cheers.
Yeah. So
Stop Japanese whiskey, son.
Mind you, this is how like crazy my life is at the time. I'm freshly opened up a business, and I'm over here. Diddy's manager is my client. Like he's legit my client. I cut him in his office. He comes to my shop. I'm this and that. So he tells me, "Hey, I'm inviting you to Diddy and Jay-Z after party."
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Insane.
So that's
some shit,
wild
right?
moments in my life, right? So I go and I can't bring nobody. I'm by myself. You know what I'm saying? So I get there, and the only person I know is him, and I know his wife at the time, right? So I'm there, and the party this is already like 11, 12 at night. Party's just getting started. I've never been to Club Dream. Party. Yeah, I've never been to Club Dream. I've never been to this and that. This is a very high-end club at the time. So I'm there, and he's the person I know. So I'm next to him. I'm like,
yeah, you're hanging out.
Whatever you need help with, I got you. Because managers get there before the artists at every club, everything. This is
because they got to make sure everything's set.
They got to make sure everything's set.
Right.
So I'm there with him. And then his assistant at the time is another Jersey kid.
Mm-hmm.
Jersey kid that he's in LA now, killing the game, doing his own thing. My homie.
Now he's an agent.
Now, well, he does different shit.
Or
he works with like iHeart. He works with. With a lot of different shit. Yeah,
really?
He branches off to do his own thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another Jersey cast, bro. I respect any Jersey homie.
Okay.
So
by the way, I'm on iHeart.
Yeah. There you go.
It's true.
Yeah.
I am.
So I'm there, and this party is insane. Like the amount of celebrities that are coming in, and he introduced me to a lot, but then it got like too much because then he got busy running around. So that day I met obviously Jay-Z, Beyonce. Diddy already knew.
That's wild. That's wild. But I've seen those kind of people like
But the thing is that like you see them when they're comfortable.
So I got a question for you.
When they're comfortable, because this is only an industry party. No phones, no nothing could be out.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You saw Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah.
What they look like in their reptile skins? No, I'm kidding. I'm just fucking kidding.
Yo, honestly,
I'm kidding. That's going to be the conspiracy part of this episode.
I respect Jay-Z. He's very smart of how he moves. And honestly, me growing up as an old school hip hop head, I'm not a Diddy fan. When I started cutting him, I respect him because of his hustle.
Right.
Bro, the way he moves, I mean, there's pros and cons to everything because he has a lot of like assistants and stuff like that.
Right.
And I will sit there because it'll be like, yo, come cut me. And then I'm waiting in his office for 2 hours. And I'll go there and I see his assistants. I see all this stuff. I was like, I would run circles around these guys. But then I think about it. I was like, I don't fucking want to work for this and get paid whatever this and that.
Yeah.
So he pays pennies and he gets fucking idiots. Cause I'm like, yo, like I would do this shit with no problem.
Useful idiots.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be.
There's a lot of those in this world.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I respect his hustle after I saw the way he moved, and I get it. And I've been in meetings that I had to sign NDA, like I can't.
Oh yeah. You can't talk about that stuff.
So I'm there literally cutting him, and he's in like major $1 million meetings, talking about yearly budgets and all.
And you just have to sign the NDA because you were in the room, not that you were listening to it.
Yeah. No, obviously, but I mean, he checks you though, because one time I was cutting and he was there having his meeting, and then I like stopped to look at a clip, and he was like, yo, look at me, they're not here. Boom. And then I was like, I bet. Boom, back to cutting.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, he's
on top of it.
No, that's what I was gonna say. That's why I learned to respect him, because then now going back to this party, this is the party that if you look, you'll find that him and J. Cole got into a fight. Yeah, I was there. And that was the time that I was just
9 years ago, bro.
Huh?
Almost 9 years ago, roughly.
Yeah,
because he said he just opened up the shop, so.
I'm saying he's young, dude.
I wasn't familiar on the gossip of that, but.
So, I think if you look it up, it went all hush because the thing is, you weren't allowed to have your phone out. Right. If you brought your phone out, security will literally kick you out. I was in there with all celebrities and tall ass models. I said, I'm a chameleon. I did not fit in there.
You were like, excuse me, come through.
I'm freshly dressed. I'm not freshly dressed.
Oh, no. I mean, come on, man. There's levels to that shit, right? You know?
That's money.
I mean, even that, because Leonardo was in there with.
You saw DiCaprio?
Yeah.
Get
twice
the fuck out of here.
I partied with him. I partied with him there, and then I partied with him and live in LA.
Damn. Yeah. That's that.
Bro, Leo's a legend, bro.
Yo.
In all aspects.
That's that dude, bro. Yeah.
So Kevin Hart was there. Jamie Foxx was there.
Jamie's a legend, bro.
Jamie's a legend. Yeah.
Without that.
Man's an entertainer. He does it all.
At the time, Macklemore was there. MGK was there. Who else was there? I'm trying to remember the people off the top of my head. One Direction was there.
Oh yeah. So it was like a lot of celebrities.
It was the after party for the VMAs.
Yeah.
Weather was hot.
Right.
But that's the thing is like I couldn't have my phone out.
That's why. No, I mean, yeah.
Anytime I got near, I had my phone out when I went by the bar, right? And then anytime I walked away from the bar that got close to where they were, security would be like, "Hey, put your phone away." And I was begging Chaz, because Chaz cut MGK at the time, to go to this party. I'm like, "Yo, Chaz, come to this party with me. I need somebody else to witness this, to experience this with me." And he's kind of like, "Bro, I'm in sweatpants. I can't." Because he was already the homie.
I need a witness. Can I get a witness?
Yeah. And I snuck some videos from a distance, in a sense. Now they're old.
I was over 10 years ago, so it don't matter no more.
Nah, bro, they can't. But anyway, yeah.
Some celebrities probably never celebrities anymore.
No, bro. And then that party was wild. That party was wild because they were passing out all types of stuff. All liquor was free.
Right.
Drugs were free. Right. Everything was free. In the
house.
Yeah, everything was around. So
wish I got invited.
Yeah, bro. I've never heard of Liquid E before until then, and they were passing around like they were like lemon drop shots.
What?
Yeah, Liquid E.
So it was like Molly, like in a liquid form.
Yeah. And MGK manager was the one that saved me from taking it. I never took it.
No shit.
Yeah. He because they were passing around shots. So boom, I'm there talking to him because he's another person that I know.
Right.
I know MGK since the week after he got signed.
Right. Yeah, I know. I know he's always at the shop. Him and Chaz are like, they're real
so
close.
Chaz cut him for when he got signed. So Chaz met him, and then me and Chaz went to his show the week after he got signed in Philadelphia. We slept in the same hotel room. I know MGK since the beginning is his thing. Nothing but respect for the guy.
Yeah.
Wild boy.
Truly.
Anybody can say whatever about him. Everything about him has been exactly the same since the day I met him.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan of his music, but he's a cool ass dude.
I'm not a huge fan.
I respect him for being the kind of personality that he is.
But he's himself.
No, yeah, that's why I respect that.
I'm not a huge fan of all this emo rock and this pop
you know what's
rock
funny?
he does.
Hold on, time out. I didn't even know he was doing that shit. I turn on the radio. I legit turn on the radio and I'm listening. I'm like, yo, what fucking band is this? Because I used to be an emo kid, so I like that kind of shit. I'm like, well, all of a sudden it comes out as MGK. I'm like, the fuck?
Probably Travis Barker.
Yeah. I was just like,
so
I was digging it though.
He's talented, bro.
He's been like that because the first time I saw him,
he's a Cincy kid, right? Or Cleveland?
No, he's Cleveland.
Cleveland. All right.
Yeah.
I know it's Ohio.
He got signed the year after French Montana got signed.
And look who's still doing it.
Yeah. And I mean, French is still doing it,
French
but
still doing it.
Yeah, but
not on the same level.
He's a summer hits kind of guy.
So check this out. So he got signed. He got signed at the same time as Net, and that's the first time I went to go. I got a funny story, French Montana too. The first time I met him, MGK, we went to his show, and he didn't even have enough music to do a whole set. Right.
So he freestyled?
No. So what he did is he did cover songs. A lot of artists do this. Like a lot of other they don't have a full half hour. Like they have they have music, but not enough that the audience is gonna know it.
Right.
So what do? They do songs that the audience always know.
They'll throw in a cover.
Bro, he used to do freaking What's My Age Again or all this. He's
really
that.
Like it was just genre taking. Like
I said it since the day I met him. He's a punk rock kid that can rap. That's what he is.
He's always looked like a punk rock kid, though. That's always been his look.
He is. He grew up in the hood.
Yeah, well, again, that's one of those things. Like, you could be your own person. Bro, I mean, listen, like I said, I grew up in Elizabeth. I had the kind of environment that I had. I got along with all the people.
Yeah, I got along with everybody.
But I was still an emo kid for like 3 years. You know what I mean?
I like the Backstreet Boys for a hot second.
Chill. Pause.
Nah, Backstreet Boys is shit.
On that note, guys.
NSYNC, the song Gone, NSYNC is still one of my favorite songs.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I respect the shit out of Justin Timberlake. His music is
I haven't got it. I like a couple of
his first two albums.
Yeah,
legit.
He's still doing it, by the way.
Hold on. When they came out, I was a man. I'm like, man, fuck that shit, bro.
Nah,
Boy band.
Shit,
yo, but secretly I was like, yo, this shit is fire, bro.
Yeah.
If you wanted that,
Cry Me a River.
Oof.
Come on now.
I'm saying,
yeah, but Timberlake.
That
video was fire too.
Yeah.
Also,
but he's another industry guy that went all wrong anyway. But
word. Okay.
Forward.
Yeah.
Word.
Yeah, he has a lot of little.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he Illuminati, bro.
Yeah, no, he did a lot of it's kind of like racial thing, a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah,
I've heard of this before.
JT's kind of like, as much as I fucks with him, I can't fuck with him.
Okay.
But yeah, so it's kind of like you start peeling back these curtains and you see like they're real people.
Yeah, and that, you know what?
And then the media has to play whatever which way, because the next day I was listening to the radio and they're like, oh, so we saw a couple of tweets about it, this and that, but they said there's discussion and they were all like, they both apologized to each other and this and that. And then I was also there for the Diddy and Drake beef. I went to a private show that Drake did for Revolt.
Okay.
So this has to be a couple years, like a year or something like later in a sense. Diddy launches Revolt, the channel. He has his own channel,
right?
Revolt. And it got picked up by Time Warner.
Okay.
So this is a private event just for Time Warner.
Who AT&T owns, but yeah.
So this is a private event for Time Warner employees, Revolt employees, and Diddy's employees. One of the coolest shit. I was on Diddy's guest list.
Oh,
yeah.
That's so fire.
Right? That's what I'm saying. Like this shit like this is just mind blowing.
Excuse me, boss. You might photocopy that for me? I want to hang it up.
It just doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying?
It's
crazy to think about. You know what I mean? Like
at that time, I'm probably 23, 22. Yeah. No. I'm lying. That happened before, cause I was with this shorty that she wasn't 20. I wasn't even 21 yet.
You're like 19, 20.
I was 20. Yeah. I was 20. Wow. I was 20 years old because I knew I could get in, but I was worried because the guy said, you could bring somebody. So I brought somebody. She wasn't 21 yet.
Yeah, but I guess it didn't matter. You were on the list, right?
Yeah. So but I always ask.
Hold on. Which, here's the thing, right? So it's like, you managed to pull it off. You were on a guest list, right? She's underage. Ain't nothing by much, right?
No,
so you can manage, right? But think about it from a more extreme perspective. You on that guest list, you bring in a legit underage minor, and you like a grown ass celebrity, like of a man. It's like nobody plugging bats an eye. There's no checks and balances, right, on these people.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no, because the thing is that, like, she's not there on her name; she's there on my name. I'm bringing her in.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
but
that's what I'm getting at. Like,
no, but like if you're look at fucking Drew Barrymore. She's been getting into clubs since she was fucking 12.
There's that too.
That's the thing. Is just like if you think that if
you know the bitch was under 10 in Studio 54, when that shit was open.
Yeah.
How long ago was that? I mean, granted, she's like not the youngest.
Bro, I mean, not for nothing, bro. I partied with you when I was 15 at the Stinos, bro.
Chill.
Yeah.
Damn, son. Yo, you had to know somebody to know somebody.
Yeah, I used to go through the back door and you go straight to the bathroom.
No, yo, I think I caught you one time go through the kitchen.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, what are you doing here, yo?
Bro, that's the thing, is just like
good times.
Yeah, bro. I was way ahead of my time, bro. Way ahead of my time. My beard grew me by like I had a full beard at 15, bro.
R.I.P. Barry.
Yeah, Barry came and went.
He'll come back.
Yeah, sorry. He's making a comeback every now and then.
Barry 3.0.
Yeah, he gets into his summer body and then he
summer body.
Yeah.
I got it.
Then he bulks up. Then he gets.
By the way, for those that don't know, Barry is the name of Checo's beard when he grows it longer than what you see on Bosa's.
Oh, he had it for well over a year.
Yeah, it was a
He celebrated his first birthday, bro.
That's I was there for that. Yeah, I was at Big Shots.
My
bro,
beard,
invitations and all, like those little cards.
I went to that shit. Yeah.
My beard had a flyer for the first birthday. Yeah.
Damn, bro. See, that's
it had the bottle girls with a thing that said "bury the beard." And it brought out bottles.
Yo, that's fucking wild. Yo.
I remember that night.
I remember that. That was good times.
That's what I'm saying. Like I lived so many different lives. All right, so when I was at the core of cutting the most celebrities and going out and doing
right.
Was also the time that I left the shop that I was at and started building my own. And then Sandy happened.
Oh.
So the way my life was going was I was doing construction from 9 to 5.
Right.
Well, I was doing construction from 6, like in the morning.
At the shop, building up the shop.
Yeah, building
like
up the
physically,
shop. And then cutting hair. I went back to cutting hair in my house. Like
right.
I went back to cutting hair in my garage. Right. So I was cutting hair in my garage, my clients. I would go to New York every now and then to cut whoever I got to cut. And then I would go out to these parties because I want to mingle and rub shoulders with all this shit.
Right.
And I'll come back home and I have fucking people to cut at home. I'm living in my parents. I'm doing all this shit. Like, like it's just such a mind fuck to like live like this. Like in 1 second I'm at Diddy's fucking party. Another second I'm back home. I have no electricity because of fucking Sandy.
That's so wild, yo.
Yeah. I was living such a crazy life at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But it built your character, man.
No, all day.
Yeah. I feel like that, like a lot of people, they go through, I don't want to say anywhere near what you've gone through, but I'm just saying, like, when people typically, and you talk to a lot of people, man. I'm sure you know a lot of life stories. You're like a therapist in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, you're like, please shut the fuck up and let me just cut your hair. I get that.
No, for the most part, I never really felt that way.
Okay, fair enough.
To be honest.
Kudos to you.
You know what's dope about him, though?
But hold on. Let me just finish my thought. But it's like the level of difficulty, the level of challenge, the level of experience that isn't necessarily dictated by your age. Because there's a lot of older people that I know that are not wise.
No.
Right.
That
are really just
close-minded, man. And
it's that too.
They're not exposed, and they don't take it. Like, look, if you want to take it back to the ROTC shit, I fucking hated ROTC.
Right.
It wasn't something that I knew. I still made an opportunity out of it. And that's the thing. Most people won't. They fucking dwell on it and then bitch about it. It's like, yo, I did ROTC for a year. Got nothing out of it. I got something out of it.
Right.
Even though I fucking hated it.
Yeah, but
to this day, bro, when I signed when I signed the lease to the spot for my shop, I had my 8th grade science teacher draw up the contract for me.
Oh shit.
That's what I'm saying. I built relationships and I stayed cool with people because I'm sincere and I'm genuine with everybody.
Right. Yeah.
In a sense. So my 8th grade science teacher, he was a realtor on the side and I knew that.
Oh.
I knew that from then. And I stayed cool with him even after high school and stuff.
Right.
So when I went to go sign my lease, I was 20 years old. This guy did not take me serious. So I was like, cool, I'm not even going to argue with you. I'm not going to come back, whatever. I never even hit him back.
Right.
I called him. He said, hey, my client wants to do this. He said, okay, sure, send me over his info. He gave him all my information. The landlord didn't even know it was me again until I went into the building.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was a big probably fuck you to the landlord.
Yeah.
See, this is what I mean. That's what makes him like great. Is that like he'll cut a celebrity,
right?
Then he'll come back and be a normal fucking Checo.
Yeah,
and he'll tell us everything. Like he just told us.
Checo, you're a different individual. You're a different species.
I'm a different color horse.
Check.
Well, a different what?
Different color horse.
Different color horse.
Checo.
That's very close to being a different color whore.
Yeah, I mean,
depends on the weather. Exactly. He'll literally cut a celebrity.
It's after 12:30, so I don't know.
He'll go to a private party, have all this crazy memories happen that night,
and still come back and chill out
the next day
with the boys, have
a drink, or regular customers. Like it's nothing.
A Honda Civic,
driving a Honda Civic or an Accord probably at the time, right?
Telling us about that party like it's nothing.
I've driven the CEO of Sean John at the time in the back seat of my Civic with no front seat because I was redoing my interior, and he sat on the back seat and he had.
Wait, was this the last four door you had?
Yeah. Yeah. So when I was redoing that, it was the project car that I was building, this and that. He was like, "Yo, I need a ride down the street." I was like, "Yeah, I got you, no problem." And then I'm like, "I got no seat." He was like, "Oh, don't worry about it, bro. Me and what is this guy name? Tommy something, the guy from Mark Echo.
Okay.
The guy that created. He's like, we used to street race all the time. He's from Jersey. They're both from Jersey.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
You know what? That's not the first time I heard about that.
Yeah. He has a good book that I don't remember. I think it's
who's this? The CEO Sean John or
no, Echo.
Okay, Echo.
Yeah. He has a good book that I have. I can't remember the title, but I know how like titles and they have the other title in a sense and subtitle. Right. It's kind of like how to sell without selling out. That was
let me see if I can find this real quick.
See how dope Jersey is?
No, Jersey
is so dope, bro. It's like a love-hate relationship in Jersey.
Look,
everybody
just write book.
Everybody shits on Jersey, and a lot of times rightfully so, but they just don't know. Yo, what bugs me the fuck out is that the enemy is my ego.
That one, unlabeled.
Unlabeled?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so the name of the book is Unlabeled.
Yeah,
that's a good book. It's written by says Mark Echo.
Yeah. No, he's the founder.
Selling out without selling out.
Yeah, there you go. See, I told you, selling out without selling out.
Yeah, that's fucking interesting,
bro.
It's very hard to do. So is this like a business strategy type thing, or
So the reason I circle back to that, he is one of the main people I got a lot of my marketing tips from. When I made my T-shirts and stuff like that, I tagged a sticker to it because he was an old school graffiti head. When you looked at
like a hang tag.
Yeah, but it was a sticker.
Hang tags are important. Yeah,
it was also a sticker
that you can use to put on something else.
The tag, in case you can't street tag, that's still a tag.
Right.
Sticker bombing is a thing.
And and Mr. Stache is all over the world.
It's everywhere. It was on your old V-dub. It was on your old V-dub. It was everywhere.
That's true. It was.
Bro, when I first opened up the shop,
mailbox.
Yo, when I first opened up my shop, I used to get DMs and stuff with this guy everywhere. I'm talking about Port Authority, this stadium, this everywhere.
Germany and shit. I remember one time.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
But that's the thing.
That's marketing, bro.
Marketing. It's viral marketing.
Yeah.
But it's grassroots.
Grassroots marketing.
That's what matters.
When I first opened up my shop, I would go to every club and fill up every car with my flyer. Every car that was in the parking lot.
Right. Smart.
And go to the bathroom and flood the whole floor with it, right?
I remember that shit one time. I might have been to the standards. I'm like, the fuck is this shit?
I went to the Gettr. It was like that.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody was like...
Oh, that might have been it. Might have been Gettr.
Nobody's going to pick it up. Both of you guys go to the bathroom. You see you don't pick it up, right? But you'll see something, right? You see something. You got to see something at least 7 times before you recognize what it is. So you see that, right?
Some quicker than others.
Yeah, but all right. So you see that on the floor. Pay no mind to it.
Right.
You go to your car. You see it again. What the fuck is this? Throw it off your car. Boom. Now you're driving. 2 days later, you see my fucking sticker somewhere else. You're like, yo, what the fuck is this?
I've been seeing this everywhere, yo.
Yeah, and then you go somewhere else. And then
it must be something.
Yo, then you talk to somebody else. Yeah, I just got my haircut at Stache. It's like, yo, what the fuck? I keep seeing this shit. What the fuck is this shit?
Right. And then you find out what it is and you're like, oh shit, maybe it's something legit.
Yeah.
That's, you know what? That's a good point.
Fake it
That's a
till
good
you
point.
make it, bro. I was broke as hell, bro.
But it's not even, I did learn a little bit of that when I took graphic design and animation because there's a little bit of marketing involved in that.
Graphic design was one of my main things.
Yeah.
In high school, I took graphic designs and stuff like that. And that's where I learned the whole billboard thing.
Right.
Flyers, all that stuff. You got to know what the hell it is in 3 seconds or that's it.
That's why why hang tags. I was just mentioning hang tags are something so stupid. It's like, why is this on an article of clothing? But people will take it off and they're like, oh, looks nice. I might keep it or whatever. I'll throw it in a drawer. Right. Yeah. It's keeping brand loyalty.
Yep. Because it starts building a whole thing, bro.
Stay loyal.
Stay fresh, stay loyal.
Stay fresh, stay loyal.
That's it.
That's one of my things. Yeah.
I was wearing shorts yesterday.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just like I built that from the rip, and I've learned that from every little avenue and stuff like that, bro.
I get what you're saying, but
everything's awesome.
Everything's awesome. So I got to bring this up because this is supposed to be one of my things. So I want to talk about
Goldberg. No eyebrows, by the way. If you guys never noticed that she doesn't have eyebrows, I know. I look at a lot of celebrities. When I see hair, when I look at movies, I'm looking at haircuts. I'm looking at all this stuff. Now this is the thing with social media. How
yeah, this is what I want to talk about because you've seen people in the industry and it's like, yo, they get so fucking caught up in this own little world that they forget.
Well, there's two things. There's two things that I think about it, right? So
right, what's up?
There's some celebrities that
yo, no brows, son.
That get so caught up in their own realm that they lose sense of what's reality.
Right.
Right. And then there's some that are normal people that if they fuck up, they use it to pretty much crucify them or get whatever they want out of them in a sense. Like you're not
blackmailing.
You're not supposed to make any errors, right? So before we get right into this, because this is great, but I'm gonna tell you a quick story that's something that I saw happen right in front of me.
What's up?
And now we're hitting 10 years of that. 10 years because it was before I opened up my shop, right? Justin Bieber, you mentioned him, right? Remember his whole debacle when he fucking went down?
Yeah. The first time?
Yeah, the first time. So Diddy's manager was in my chair, right? And he was talking to his manager.
Right, because he was Diddy's, like, he worked with him, right?
Whom?
Beavers?
No, but all managers
know each other.
All managers know each other.
Like
that's why another thing, anybody that's in my industry, if you want to get celebrities, fuck the celebrities, talk to the managers, because when you want to cut the celebrities, the manager is the one that's calling you. So be cool with the manager, not the celebrity. Celebrities changes, managers, they all know each other.
There you go. Hot tip.
Yeah. So, in saying that, he knew him. He got a phone call. He's in my chair. He literally broke down everything that was going to happen and has happened to Justin Bieber right in front of me. So J Biebs, right? The way they do it is that they surround you with a team, a bunch of yes men, a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah,
you're an artist. So here's your manager. Here's your PR. Here's your this. And then now you start chilling.
That's that fake shit.
Yeah, they start chilling with it. And you're loving it, bro. You're loving it because they get you in here. They know all these people, this and that. So you're living all this stuff. But then you start losing sense of reality because what they do is that everybody got to get paid. Everybody got to get that bag money, in a sense. So Reebok sends you a bunch of shit. Right? So that manager's like, yo, PR team or your right hand man, Justin Bieber right hand man, which works for the company also. Yo, you got to get J Biebs to rock this. He's like, yo, this shit is whack. Nah, you got to get him to rock it. We just got mad money for this. Right. All right, cool. So boom, he brings the
to
clothes,
the dresser or whatever.
He throws it on. He's like, yo, this shit looks dope. He's like, yo, let's see how it looks on you. Boom. Yo, that shit is fire. That shit is fire.
Hyping him up.
Now Justin Bieber's out in the streets looking ridiculous with a fucking giant ass yellow hat.
Yep.
You know? That's
some
what they
Air
do.
Monarchs.
That's what they do, right? So now you live that, right? And then some of them can't break out of that circle. Or they don't know how to go that. But Justin Bieber said, he was like, yo, I don't want to do this anymore. He's like, I don't want to make any music anymore.
Right.
Because he's not writing his own shit. He's not doing anything. And he's a true musician.
Yeah.
He writes his own shit.
Well, he got discovered on YouTube, man.
Well, yeah. But so there's a lot of people.
No, but I'm saying he was one of those early cases that...
Yeah, but also, why is Usher looking at little boys? Whatever.
Hot fucking drop.
Anyway, that's just a joke. That's how everybody gets discovered. That was just funny. Anyway,
yeah, that's wild.
Hot take.
God damn, son. Sorry,
bruh. Yeah.
Facts.
Wow. Yo. Anyway, I'm not saying nothing that people haven't already said. Anyway, so in saying that,
sometimes it takes a little while to get to the good stuff. You know what I mean, Bosa?
So he's going through this. So he lost sense of his thing. So he kind of caught wind of that. So he told his label, I don't want to make music anymore.
Yeah, he went through that.
Yeah, he went through that. So the label's like, no, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, they don't want him to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So he went on live radio in LA and said, I'm retiring. I'm not making music anymore. So what the label do? They're like, okay, cool. We're going to make you need us. We're going to destroy your whole world. Wow.
That's so fucked up, bro.
They destroy his whole world. So what they do, right? So they get his team, all his boys around him that they control and pay. Yo, cool. He doesn't want to make music. Cool. Let him go have fun. Tell him, fuck music. Let's go party. Let's go party. Let's go party. Let's go party. Now,
yeah, you got people on the inside and fucking with his head.
So now he's partying all the time, right?
Right.
Because he's like, fuck making music. I don't need to do shit. Go party. Boom. The same people that tell him to go party is the same people calling TMZ to go catch him. That's when you get caught with the DUI.
Money and all. Yeah.
That's when you get caught with the DUI. That's when you get caught. That's when you get caught street racing.
He got caught street racing?
That's when you get caught.
Oh, shout out to him, bro. Fuck
under
that.
The influence, he was
I got newfound respect for him now.
Yo, that's when you get caught throwing eggs at your neighbor.
Yep.
That's when you get caught in a Brazilian brothel in Brazil.
Yep. Sex addict.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. All this stuff does not sound unappealing to me.
It's a fucking party.
I want to live that life.
Word
anyway.
Okay, terrific.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so he's doing all this shit, but his whole team. But guess what happened? He keeps getting in trouble, because his whole team is the one snitching on him. Yeah. They're the one calling TMZ. They're the one doing this, getting power.
They're milking the cow.
Yeah. So now fans are starting to hate him because he's getting that bad light in the media, right? So how do you get your fans back? Sympathy.
Yeah.
Right? So boom, you said, yo, I'm a sex addict, I'm this, I'm that, I'm gonna go clean myself up. He fucking clean himself up, and then what's the last ingredient of getting over something? It's laughter. No, laughter.
Yeah.
When you can laugh about it is when you're over it.
Right.
So what do? You do the roast. He did the Comedy Central roast.
That's right.
And he came back with bangers after bangers after bangers. He was fucking on fire for that summer.
He was dropping that shit.
He was dropping all that shit. And that whole plan was created
by the record label.
At my chair. At the barbershop.
What? That shit happened right in front of you.
Yeah.
The whole game. I saw it happen. It happened in the course of a year.
Get the fuck out of it. Did you have to sign an NDA for that?
No. He was in my barber chair talking to the manager, telling everything what to do, set by set, right in my chair.
Wait. Justin Bieber was... No, the manager.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. I'm just trying to clarify here. Because that was a very lengthy fucking timeline there.
This is so-and-so barber. I mean, manager.
I got you. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. So... Which is wild ass shit, right? Because
so this is just some of the stuff that I've seen. Imagine like what I seen in the office and stuff like that,
right,
behind the scenes.
So ready for this shit? Not to make a quick comparison, but it's more like relevant in terms of time period. You guys seen all the shit that's been happening with Joe Rogan and Spotify and Neil Young and fucking all this other shit. Joe, you want to hear some wild shit though about that nobody's fucking talking about? Like I did not pull that up particularly, but Neil Young, he sold more than 50% of his catalog to another investment firm that has to do with the record label. Do you know who actually finances that particular firm? BlackRock. Do you know what else they own? Fucking everything under the sun.
Yeah.
So, and you know what else they're big players in? The whole jab. The whole program. And they're involved in every single company that's making it right now. So they have a lot to learn. So taking what you said as an example of a means, right? You go one to the other, they can control it, and now they're making them look that way. And now on top of which, just today or yesterday or whatever, they caught him with the whole like N-bomb thing, where he had to pull 70 episodes.
Oh, it's if they want to destroy you, they're gonna destroy you, and they're gonna make it. But you know what?
But that man was supposed to be uncancelable, bro. They tried for so long. He was taking horse dewormer, all this other shit. Listen, I get it. But I guess it can get to everybody because he's already apologized twice for that shit.
Okay, so is he really canceled, or is the media saying enough that he's canceled that we think he's canceled?
I think he's apologizing because it's like hurting his bag in a sense.
Yes,
what bag, bro? He already got his money.
Look at Dave Chappelle. Was he ever really canceled?
No. They tried.
Was the actual community after him, or was the media
What, that 5% community that you're talking about? Because I'm not going to say what it is, but
no, that's what I'm saying. It's not. It's the media, right?
Amplified it.
So what happened? If the media amplifies it, what happens? Then you get real buffoons going out there and acting on what the media is feeding them. And
I don't disagree with you.
100%.
Hold on, hear me out. I don't disagree with you, but I think in this situation, I think it's a little different.
No, it is. But
Because they tried going that route with him. It didn't work.
It's hard with Rogan.
Cancel culture.
Well, no, in a way Checo was describing it, they tried going after him that way.
Yeah.
It didn't work. Right?
He's too true and he's too core. He's a true comedian.
Right.
He's a core. All right. So
he called him out.
He called him out for stealing other people's jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Which is like, you could do to a point, but the way Mencia was doing is not the way you do it. And then he was sticking up for comedians, and that went viral.
Right.
Yeah.
Understand? And then all of a sudden, he started telling people to eat freaking horse penises on Fear Factor, and then he blew up. So
I'm just saying, he made a lot of money on that shit.
Yeah, bro.
So,
he jokes about it too. He's like, yo, they said you could do this. Hell yeah. Honestly, I told you, I'm a hustler to true and true. I don't knock anybody hustles. I don't have to agree with all of them. I don't this and that, but I get why people do certain shit.
I get that, right? But what I'm getting at is, you give them an inch, or you give them a finger, they're going to take the whole arm and then some. Because he apologized, not that he apologized, but he came out with the video and said, like, yo, people don't understand, like, actually go watch it. Maybe they're interpreting stuff, this and that. Neil Young, I'm a big fan of yours, whatever. He came out and actually had a response video, like, direct, right? Should never done that shit. Because now it's like,
now they chop and screw that.
Right, now it's like, oh, we got him to bend a little bit at the knee.
Yeah, all the time.
Let's take out his fucking knees now.
Yeah, all day. But you also, you don't think that Neil Young got people in his ear? Fucking.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, all day.
It don't matter because he doesn't own his music. So what the fuck's he really doing?
This is also the other thing, right?
You know what I mean?
This is also another avenue, right? I said it earlier. I was just like, yo, if you want to get lawyers, we get lawyers. Small, big bank takes little bank all day.
Yeah.
If you don't have bank, who do you have? Media.
What's propaganda?
If you can't beat somebody, you try to make it big on media, because at the end of the day, everybody folds to media. The whole justice system folds to media. Everybody folds to media. If it's a big enough deal, your case gets pushed to the front. If it's a big enough deal, your thing is on the forefront, because you can't have the whole world thinking that you're.
I don't disagree. But I refuse. At that point, I refuse to call it media. It's nothing more than propaganda.
Yeah, all day. 100% is propaganda.
Yeah.
It's propaganda using media.
Right. Exactly.
Everything is media.
Yeah.
Bro, everything is a freaking hustle, bro.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, as much as we love everything, this is how everything was created in our country, in a sense.
No, and it goes even way further back than that. I mean, you ever heard of Operation Mockingbird?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
bro, let me simplify something.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna take you into the realm of how my mind thinks, right?
Okay, go ahead.
So when we were discovered, when the whole Christopher Columbus coming over here and all that stuff, you don't think that was media? That was them preaching that there's a free world, there's a new world, this is and that, to come over here, and this is that, and the way they preached over here?
Well, there was freedom.
It's a different kind of media.
That's more propaganda, but yes,
it was still newspapers, still things being written to promote and say things.
Well, yes, it was the word of the land, as it were. But you're right, because why do they want that? And it's very similar to how Australia was born. Well, later the
but then
it was like, you can have freedom. It's a whole new world. You can leave this oppression of the king. What it's paradise. Whatever the case may be.
So
clearly was not. But
all day. And then even when they came over here, they weren't supposed to go past a certain thing because they didn't want to start the war with the French. Remember, the French took over more of the West.
Well, yeah, there's that too. But I'm talking, right? I was talking on a more generalized New World discovery sort of thing.
But I'm saying, and then they continue to do it.
And then you had the natives.
Yeah. No, and then they continue to do it, right? And then if you keep on going into the history, everything was always fueled by freaking media. It was always newspapers, always written the way they talk about it, this and that. Because now I'm going to go back to the whoopee shit. You whooped up. You
whooped up the whoopee shit.
Goldberg.
Yeah, like think about it, man. She changed her name to Goldberg as a stage name.
Dog, her real name is Karen with a C.
Yeah,
which is so funny.
What's her real last name?
or some shit like that. Oh, let me pull it
Bro,
up.
she did a stage name because she knew that in the way she's perceived, the way she is, she's not dumb at all. She knew the game she was getting into, and she's a hustler.
Johnson.
What is it? Karen Elaine Johnson. There you go. Karen with a C and a Y.
Yeah.
Because.
And no eyebrows.
And sure as fuck. Yo, you know what? She actually plays one of my favorite characters ever on a TV show.
She's a brilliant character. And this, honestly, look, this is why.
You think this shit she's been playing on The View for fucking over 10? By the way, I cannot stand.
I don't watch The View.
No man, no self-respecting man does.
I've seen clips of it.
No, it's dude.
Yeah,
bro, it's disgusting. It is fucking disgusting.
But all right, yes.
Oh, she won an EGOT?
Yo,
for real?
That's what I'm saying. She's on there because at that age, that's securing a bag. You want to know why? Because at that age, when you do a movie, it's a hit or a miss. Right. And she's not getting casted for a lot of movies, right? So even if she does a movie, it could be a dub, right? Could be a dub, and then she doesn't get that much money. And then if that's a dub, then she gets less money. She's qualified for less, right?
I understand what you're saying. But I just want to clarify. I just want to clarify for anybody that's not aware of the situation, what we're referring to in terms of Whoopi, right? And I'm
sounds like no eyebrows.
She got what we're referring to is the fact that she has no eyebrows.
This is what we're referring to when we talk about Whoopi.
Yeah, making Whoopi. Whoopi.
Yeah.
So okay, this is all right. So I'm pulling this up from timcast.com, directly from them. It's actually not directly from them, but I'm reading the article from them. So ABC suspends Whoopi Goldberg after Holocaust remarks. So essentially what it was, on Tuesday night, ABC suspended Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks after the View co-host attracted some criticism for asserting the Holocaust was not about race. So effective immediately, she was suspended for 2 weeks. There was a tweet that went out, so on and so forth. Yeah, hold on. Later that day, she goes on Stephen Colbert's late night show that nobody fucking watches, confronted her during taping on The Late Show, which is his show or whatever it was. I was upset that a lot of people I was upset of a lot of which was never, ever, ever my intention. What? Is that written properly? They gotta edit this shit.
They already misquoted her. And second of all, it's just like nobody could give a proper excuse after a couple hours of doing what she did and then getting all that information.
Well, she pretty much ended up saying the same thing. So it's like I thought we were having a discussion, said Colbert. I think race as being about that what you see, you couldn't tell who was Jewish and who was white. Wow, okay. And they delved deeper into figuring it out. My point is that I had to do work. So essentially what she pretty much said in her comments was that the Holocaust was not about race, which is partly correct, but is a little ignorant to say because it was primarily Jewish people.
Yes.
Because we had the discussion earlier in the week.
Okay, so yes, there is that. But like, look how I grew up, right? Literally,
right.
Look at her.
Yes, that's a good point.
She's an African-American woman growing up. So when she sees race, it's very blatant and thing. It's so blatant that she chose to change her name to strive in an industry run by Jewish people.
Yo, how wild is that, right?
So think about that. She changed her name to be more appealing to a whole race of people. And now apparently that community is getting so offended by what she said. No, yes, 100% she was wrong. It is about race, obviously. But she was trying to say that it was just like, it's more, it was about race and it was about inhumanity. She was saying how man could do that to another man.
Mm-hmm.
On the race factor of you couldn't tell who was who as distinctive as you could tell when somebody is black and white.
All right.
Yeah. That's where she was coming from. And then she went to the ABC publicist and PR team and says, what do I need to say? And they told her, apologize this and say this. So then she went and did.
Which was not sincere.
No, but it's a PR team. They're supposed to. Obviously, because you know what? It's not so much that she needed to be sincerely sorry. Mm-hmm. She needed to be sincerely educated. And she was sorry for missaying that, but she's not sorry for being ignorant.
You know what I think it is? To be quite honest, it has to do with the character that she's been playing on this show for far too long.
No. Yes, and no, because this isn't the first time that they have taken whatever she says and blown it up. And she's also...
Out of context,
but this wasn't even out of context, dude. Because she was getting kickback at the same time. She's like, no, it was... She meant what she said. However, like we discussed, I don't think she fully fleshed out her thoughts.
Right. Yes, 100%.
Right.
Because that's the thing, is like how I even said when I'm like, yo, Brown, what do you want to talk about? Because I don't want to think on live TV. That's hard because you might say something. You're trying to think of something, but you haven't gathered your thoughts, or you haven't this and that. And that's one of the things that she probably fucked up. 100% she fucked up.
Yeah.
It wasn't something like, I can't agree at all of what she said. Obviously, she was 100% wrong. Mm-hmm. But I think that instead of canceling, she needs proper education.
She needs guidance.
Well, no, suspension. Because it had it been anyone else, not to say it this way, okay?
I get what you're saying.
But in the culture war that we're currently in, if you look at it from that perspective, had it been, I don't know, any other the panelists on that show, aside from her, and said that, they might have gotten canceled. Maybe. And if it was somebody that was more right-leaning,
I think it would have got less media.
Yes. I think it was less because she's an outspoken black woman on the show. That's already how she's perceived.
That pops already as it is.
But that's a character, bro.
Yes, 100%. Because she's playing that character.
Because if you watch the actual segment, which I had very hard trouble pulling up, that somebody that isn't commenting already on it.
Yeah. So
the legit one,
she's already perceived that way.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, you're talking about white supremacists. Yes, okay. The Nazis were legitimately not just white supremacists; they were Aryan supremacists. That was literally their whole fucking spiel, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of funny that I said it with spiel, but because it's a Hebrew thing. But at the same time, too, it wasn't just about the Jews. The Holocaust wasn't just about the Jews. There were the gypsies. There were, if you were black, homosexuals,
everything, bro.
So shout out to Frank.
His Hitler's girlfriend and then wife wanted to take over Iceland.
Yeah,
exactly. Nobody even talks about that.
No. Or talks about the fact that he died out in Argentina. But anyway, we won't go that far down.
I mean, but look, if you want to...
What? You don't think it's possible? You don't think that happened?
I never heard of that.
No?
That's very impressive. Well,
Argentina? Right. So have you ever...
We'll be talking about that on the uncensored...
Argentinian soccer player? That's Maradona.
Argentina is the Dominican soccer coach, too.
Huh.
That's dope.
Yeah.
We have a soccer team that goes...
Dude, there's a whole... Yo, legit, no lie. No lie. There is a section of Argentina, a small town, that is literally called Little Bavaria, where legit the houses look like they're German.
Bro, if you want to get into Spanish culture,
and you can only interact with those people, like in terms of a day-to-day thing, if you're one of them. Think about it
like in Argentina, they think they're the superior race across the board.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of influence from their German immigrants that they received in the late 1940s.
Italian.
Yes. The Italians especially.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
and they're whole religious and white.
Yeah.
They have the complexion for the connection. That's the way
No. But the connection goes with Argentina and Germany is a very simple one. Yeah, and anybody can look this up. 100%. It was as follows. The dictator at the time, whose name I can't remember, Santiago something or other. He was very friendly with Nazi sympathizers during the 1930s while he was dictator in Argentina. Mm-hmm. And he very much appreciated the Nazi sense of things midway until the Second World War, in which case he started reverting his ideas. Yeah. But at the same time, too,
because you got to remember,
he was already taking in refugees from Germany because at that time the war was turning.
World War I, Germany was freaking kicking ass, and everybody was afraid. Everybody was afraid that Germany was going to invade them to get into like America and do all this other stuff during World War I. That's what Mexico was afraid of.
Well, it's funny you bring up Mexico of all things.
Wow.
Do you know that there was actually a lot of plots set for terror? I think there was a couple terrorist acts that were sponsored by Germany to keep the U.S. out of it, to try to start a war via Mexico.
Yeah.
So what Germany wanted to do was what they ended up doing in Russia.
Bro.
They sponsored the Bolsheviks. They hold on.
Bruh. Yeah.
They sponsored the Bolsheviks, right? Which later becomes Lenin and Stalin and the Soviet Union. They sponsored them to overthrow the Russian government so that the Russians wouldn't get involved in World War One. True story.
Yeah,
Facts. Yes.
Another fact.
And it later burned them in the ass.
Another fact is that America was so afraid that Germany was going to go through
South
Mexico.
America?
No, Mexico.
Okay.
That they started heightening up their borders, right? And that whole gas chamber, that whole gas thing.
Mm-hmm.
Look up gasolina baths.
Daddy Yankee?
No.
Elizabeth back in the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Now, gas baths. So when people were coming from Mexico to El Paso, back and forth, right?
Right. They were gassing them?
Bro.
Yo, hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Check this out. As much as the Nazis did all that stuff, they want to say that like a lot of things came from that.
Right.
You got to look at where his ideas came from. A lot of his ideas came from how the American people took over the whole West.
Right.
That's how he wanted to take over. And then it directly, this is a fact, directly took over how America did gas baths. Is how he created the whole gas chamber and everything like that. How he did that.
What?
Literally the same chemical, Zyklon B.
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Zyklon B.
Yes.
It was used in the 70. Yo, yeah.
This is sad Checo I never saw before.
Surprise, bitches.
Came out in 1917. They used it down in Texas to spray all the immigrants coming in.
Well, Zyklon B was, I think, developed towards the end of World War One. I don't know who developed it, but it was used on the battlefield.
America.
It was used on the battlefield. I think it was against mustard gas or whatever.
So
the
they
case
got
was.
sprayed on the way into Texas.
So they were so afraid that Germany was going to go through there, right? So they started hiking up their borders in a sense, right?
Uh-huh.
So they started checking for ticks, for anything like that, right? This is 1916. Right?
So they were spraying them with like a pesticide.
Yeah.
Right.
At first.
Right.
So at first it was just hiking to check this, right? Whether they were deemed or not deemed to come in and all this stuff. And then this is also where the term greaser came from. Because they used to call Mexicans greasers.
Right.
Which is why I never watched the movie. I thought it was whack anyway.
Don't tell my wife that.
Yeah.
She loves that movie. I know. I'm not a fan.
Anyway, so then at the same time, the biggest import for immigrants was Ellis Island. So they had a whole task force of heightening up their security and doing all this stuff. And they were doing anybody that was physically or looked disabled. They started controlling. They wanted, I'm telling you, look up the gas bath in Texas.
Hold on.
This is all new to me, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all right. So like they started doing all this stuff, right? And then years later, there was a protest and kickback because so the women that were coming in, and now these are hundreds of people that come in every day for work and all this stuff.
Riots? No.
Yeah, well, it was a riot. It was this young 16-year-old that started the riots because there was a train or something that used to import all the women to do all the work.
Gas bath and riots and other American Mexicans. Oh, the American.
1917. Bro, this boy is smart.
I never saw the side of you.
Yeah.
So you want to read this here since you're talking about it?
No, I don't read it. What you would call it?
I just hustle.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you haven't heard, this is coming from counterpunch.org. The gas bath riots and other tales of the Mexican American resistance.
Yeah, it was this one girl. She was like 16, 17 that she started. Yeah. She was pretty much the Rosa Parks of Mexico.
Yes, it says here the ringside seat of a revolution and underground culture history of El Paso and Juarez from 1893 to 1923. Cinco Puntos Press. Then it talks about a book about it. Let me see here.
Yeah, because they lost. They
Carmelita?
Yeah, exactly. It was Carmelita something. after they took her to jail, there's no history that you only read about her through certain newspapers that wrote about her.
Oh, here we go. So Mexican gas baths are forcefully given to Mexican immigrants upon entering the country for over 50 years.
Yep.
Little is known about the story of Carmelita Torres.
That's where I got it from.
A 17-year-old Mexican maid who crossed over into El Paso from Juarez to clean houses in 1917. Carmelita refused to take gasoline baths when she was entering the United States. The soldiers would often stare and disrobe Mexican women, and they were forced to take baths.
Pictures of them and then put them at the bars. They'll take pictures.
Not surprised.
They'll take pictures, put them at the bar.
So it was gasoline, though.
No, it was gasoline, right? No. So this is what happens, right? So they ate.
Get on the microphone.
So it first started with the gasoline getting the imports, right?
Right.
And then it went as far as just like, oh, Mexicans are dangerous across the board. Let's do it to the jail. So they went into jail, right?
Right.
Went into jail, bathed them all. Somebody lit a match, killed over I don't know how many of them, and that they called it the jail Holocaust, and that happened in.
That's got to be in this article somewhere.
1917. When was Hitler?
Hitler was in World War I.
Something.
Well, no, he came into prominence around the mid 1920s.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
actually fought in World War I. So he was in the trenches in World War I.
Zyklon B is what they ended up using after to make the process faster. In a sense, it's a white powder.
Yeah,
that they'll spray these guys. They'll check their eyelashes and everything for fucking ticks and all this shit. They were spraying these people every day.
Where's Drew when you need him? He'd explain the chemical compound of that shit.
Bro, they were spraying them every day. And this is exactly the chemical that were found that the Nazis used to do exactly the same thing over there. So it wasn't so much. It wasn't
Sorry,
so much
guys, I didn't screen capture that. Hold on. Let me just. I'll edit this. I'll edit this in. Whatever. Go ahead. Continue.
It wasn't so much that certain people were influenced by Hitler. Is that America influenced Hitler himself. He got a lot of the ideas from how things happened here first.
Right. I don't disagree with you.
No, but obviously he's wrong, and this is not, and like
not that. In terms of his inspiration for doing things,
I mean, we don't know. This is also a very insane.
There are historians. There are historians that believe that he, in fact, gained a lot of his inspiration from the occult.
Yeah,
which is why he funded a shit ton of excavations and projects all over the world to look for some crazy ass shit, bro.
I also don't doubt it. But when you find the
you ever watch Indiana Jones Lost Ark? I'm just saying.
When you find the same chemical that America used 10 years before he did, it's the exact same chemical.
Well, think about it like this. Mustard gas.
Mm-hmm.
You know who developed mustard gas?
DJ
Heinz.
No.
DJ Mustard.
No, it was developed by the Germans, right, or the Austrians, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Axis. But I think it was, I believe it was a German. It was a German chemist in the turn of the last century, the 20th century, which later became a very, very widely used weapon in World War I, right? But the U.S. also was using mustard gas as well to fight, and mind you, like I said, turn of the century in the Spanish-American War, which they also used in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
U.S. took over the Philippines.
Yes. So during that time, while it was developed already and known about, because it's very easy to make mustard gas, you can almost make it by accident.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all it takes is bleach and ammonia, I believe.
I mean, don't give them the.
Oh no, dude! Anybody can look this up. It's a simple chemical compound.
Yeah, all day. But I mean, all I need is a little baking soda and some little crack.
I got baking soda.
All right, sorry about that,
guys. I want to jump into the next segment, which will not be on YouTube. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, say goodbye, gentlemen.
Peace. Follow me on all social media.
Those of you,
the barber.
Those of you listening, it'll just be a continuation.
Yeah.
But the video portion will, from this point forward, be located on Rumble. So if you're interested in checking that out,
put all the tags here.
And what we're going to be talking about, yes, all tags below.
The chop block.
That's it. Leave like, share, subscribe, commentary, just feedback, guys. I need feedback from you all.
Yeah, bro.
You know,
Holler at me if you want me
spread
back.
the word. And if you made it this far, you're 2 hours, 40 minutes in. My God.
Yo, we've been talking.
Yes.
Anyway,
we've been talking.
All the YouTube people, it's always a treat when players meet. And
Checo still has the best comment dropped of all time. I highly suggest you guys checking it out. It's under Favano's episode. That was good.
I got bars.
You got bars for days.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you. And there's gonna be no outro on this one. So till next time, say goodbye, gentlemen.
Deuce.